What is up, everybody? Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I am Rockin' Robbie Billups, and this, of course, is PCP Movie Night. It is, in fact, the final week of Crew's Choice, and tonight the pick is Westworld, the 1973 Michael Crichton film that is, of course, the direct inspiration for the HBO series of the same name. And speaking of the same name, me and this cat do not have the same name, but we have the same soul when it comes to pop culture, so much so that we formed this thing here called Pop Culture Philosophers. Ladies and gentlemen, bring them in. Hammertime Holshoe, this was your pick.
Hey, what's up? This was my pick. Well, actually, it was Crew's pick. Terry Crews picked all the movies we're watching this month.
Yeah, you're right about that. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, Terry Crews. Yeah, it was my pick, man. It was a film that when I was younger, before I start watching Jason and all those movies, which my dad would let me watch, my mom wasn't around. She wouldn't let me watch scary movies. I watched this movie thinking it was a Western. You know, my parents didn't seem to care. And this movie scared the shit out of me.
Yeah?
Yes, yeah, Westworld just terrified me, man. Terrified.
Speaking of terrifying me, it's good old Jab. It's Jelani. What's up, buddy?
What's up? What's up? Hey, guys. And station in. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Holshoe. Like, man, that movie is like bothersome as a child because you see a guy's face come off, he can't be killed. It's an android killing you in a theme park. It's like going to Disney World and like Donald Duck's at your ass, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? So yeah, sorry.
Didn't it happen to you when you were working at Disney? Didn't Donald Duck animated robot try to murder you, Jelani? Didn't that happen?
That usually happens,
like
on more than one occasion. So I'm okay with it.
Speaking of mechanical malfunction and mechanical assassination, it's Mike 06. What's up, Mike?
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? So I never saw this movie when I was a kid. I saw it in my mid-20s, so it didn't have that horrific effect on me. It was just a big dumb fun Western. No.
Oh, okay.
No, the snake skin the snake biting the guy kind of scared me a little bit. It made me jump.
Nobody wants to get bit by a snake or shot by an android gunslinger. Speaking of android gunslingers, it's time for a very special moment because we're bringing in a very special guest. It is Brooks, the Meyer. What? What? It's Brooks.
Yeah.
What's up, Brooks?
Hey.
Is that the real Brooks or is that an android?
I don't know, Alien.
Tell you if I knew.
I don't know, Alien. You tell me.
Look into my eyes. Are they silver?
That's how you tell, right? It's how you tell with Replicant. That's some rhythm.
In the movie. I hate to jump ahead. I don't know how they did that weird reflection. Was it kind of?
I'm not Westworld Robot Brooks. I'm a Replicant Brooks tonight.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So tonight we're here to talk about Westworld. It was John's pick. And thank you, PCP Army. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for joining us tonight. We really do appreciate it. Let's talk about this film. 1973, written and directed by Michael Crichton. Michael Crichton had already kind of been a successful writer. He used to pen movies under a pseudonym, and then he did the Android Strain. He did the Andromeda Strain. That became a movie. It was big. It was a thing. So they let him do this TV show, or not a TV show, but like a TV movie. And then they gave him this, right? And Westworld. And he thought it was an idea that he came up with after seeing the Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland or something like that. He kind of envisioned this whole idea of the theme park that you can go to with these, like, not just animatronics, but like androids that move around and are lifelike and feel real. And you can basically go into the Old West or into Old Rome. By the way, why pick Pompeii? Like, what's the happy ending there? And then what is the other one? The medieval world, right? So you can go there and you can fight and you can fuck, right? That's the whole point of what is it? Dallas?
It's all about fucking. You can tell.
Yeah, it is.
Especially like the lady in the beginning who like comes up and like you can tell she just had like a shitload of orgies. Like, she's way too fucking happy.
You know it, right?
Just got a Rome world. I love the men.
All right, so the movie was made on kind of a shoestring budget for its epic scope, right? It only cost $1.2 million to make. It did wind up making $10 million, making it a moderate success, more of a cult classic, and of course the inspiration for the HBO show. I really loved it on the rewatch. I remembered not really liking this one as much. Like being a Michael Crichton fan growing up, especially in the middle school, I think that's when I first and the last time I watched this film. And I remember thinking it was kind of doofy and cheesy and dumb or whatnot, but I really enjoyed it this time. I have not seen the recent TV series, so I have no, that's not in my head at all. I don't even know where they went with it there, but like in this, like, I think I appreciated what Michael Crichton was trying to do, both thematically and artistically. This is an incredibly well shot movie. Like for someone very young in a directorial career that didn't have a lot of movies behind it. Now he's inspired some of the biggest movies out there, including his follow-up, I would say, to this movie is like Jurassic Park. He does the exact same concept, a theme park breaking down. That
idea of a theme park going, sideways and killing the people. He's rode that to the bank several times.
Yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine what Michael Crichton's dreams are like? Anyway, so I really liked it on the rewatch. Yul Brynner is just, to me, one of the absolute best classic actors. I love him so much in The King and I, but especially in 10 Commandments and The Magnificent Seven, in which he basically reprises his role. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but it's fine. So, John, this was your pick. You love this movie so much that it was like out of all the movies you could have picked to spotlight tonight on your night, Hammer Time.
It was a movie that when I was younger, before I was introduced to horror films, because I wasn't allowed to watch horror films. And again, this changed. My mom got remarried, and when she was out, my stepdad let me watch whatever I want. We watched Friday the 13th or whatever, probably at too young an age. But before that, I had seen this film, thinking it was a Western, and it scared the shit out of me. It really did. When his face comes off, when he gets acid thrown in his face, and then he's seeing it, it's all like digital, and he's chasing him around. It literally, I had nightmares from this film. Of course, I probably watched, I'm not that old. I didn't watch it theatrically, but I probably saw it on TV. I was probably like, I don't know, maybe 7 years old or something like that. Okay. And it just scared the shit out of me. I think it holds up. I think it's the concept that I want to point out. This concept of a virus predates any type of computer virus. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they made it sound like it was almost like a virus that spreads, like COVID or something like that. Like it was going to spread. And the other scientists or whatever, the robot guys or the technicians are like, oh, that's ludicrous. They kind of dismissed the whole idea, which we now know in the future, because we live in the future with flying cars and shit. Viruses and computers are very real. They're a little different how they originate, but the concept, I think it was well ahead of its time. And I think it was done really well. And Michael Crichton, for being a very amateur director, with not a lot under his belt. And obviously, when he pitched this, he pitched the idea, but he did not want to direct. And MGM's like, you either direct it or we're not doing it. And he's like, well, shit, I guess I'm directing it. So they were 100% on board with him. That was the only way they were going to push forward.
MGM was the only studio that approved the idea. They were the only ones that actually thought it sounded cool, right? So, and they were the cheapskates at the time. They did not put a lot of money up for these productions. And so I also think we need to applaud Michael Crichton for being a little bit of a futurist. And like a lot of his work gets kind of like appreciated. I love his work, right? But some people are like, oh, it's kind of just like he's like the Stephen King of science fiction almost. Like he was just very prolific. Not everything is necessarily so expertly well done or imaginative or something like that, right? But I don't think he gets enough credit because, like, look at that. This is a prediction of like a computer virus. You know what I'm saying? It's like he can take. He has a medical degree. That's what he did. That's why he created ER, right? So like, he gave that up to be a writer. So it's just really. I think it's a very forward-thinking movie that's trying to explore some things that we definitely needed to start worrying about probably now. And I think it's more relevant now than it probably was in '73. I feel like that's something we're saying a lot, but maybe all these movies in the past, they were all warnings. So maybe we also need to really pay attention to today's movies. You know what I'm saying? Because they're warnings for what's going to happen 20 years from now. Speaking of 20 years from now, if we could see what's going to happen to Jelani. Jelani, what do you think about Westworld?
I like that movie, man. It's a hit, man. It's pretty awesome because it takes you to another destination. Like you want to go to this place. It's $1,000 a day. You come in and you hear the beginning of the movie where it just tells you how happy these people are. Explains the whole film. Like you want to go there. And I do. Like if that place was functioning like on a good functioning day, I'd be there. I'd be at either Westworld or More than likely the Pompeii world. Yeah, I'll take that. So it's a well-told story, and I like how tight it is. I like the characters, the development of the characters as you go through the film. I like Dick Van Patten. I want to know what happened to him. I don't know if he died or not.
Hey, I think he died. I just think he died.
I think he probably died.
There's the story right there. There's a story to be told right there. Well, he gets out, right?
Yeah.
Like his heroic journey.
That would be so cool. That would have been a great sequel, just to follow him instead of just, you know.
You see the guy that became the sheriff?
Yeah.
From the
They
Mel
made
Brooks.
him sheriff.
He's from the Mel Brooks films, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's Dick Van Patten. 8 is enough.
Okay, yeah. And he made it enough, and then and he was the king in Spaceballs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes her talking about
Dick Van
the
Patten.
Yeah, I do. You can't help but like him. He's barely in there. But yeah.
I liked him a lot in the movie.
Identified with
he woke up beside the girl. He's like, it's so funny. It's like he made his entire year. So I liked his character in that movie and making him sheriff. He was doing, a theme park thing. And that's what people at theme parks do. And
yeah, I love to go get arrested at a theme park.
Yep. That'd be cool. But then you get to bust out dynamite.
You get to kill the sheriff?
Cool. You get to kill the sheriff. Do whatever you want. It's great. It's like you're living a video game.
No AC.
You'd have to sign so many waivers. There'd have to be so many waivers you got to sign now. But I would love to go there. And I love this movie. I love how it's crafted. I love how short it is. It tells you, it gets kind of slow at the beginning, but it's totally a good free-flowing film. And I like all of it. I really do. It's poppy and it's cheese. It's like glorious cheese. You know what I'm saying? And I like how everyone acts, especially when James Brolin gets shot. It's like, they shot me. And he's like surprised that thing killed him if it's not supposed to.
Yeah.
So it's an insane film. And like it turns. And I like that turn. It's so dark because it's a fun movie up until that point. Even when he gets bit by the snake, you're like, I got bit by a snake. But it's still a part of the adventure. You know what I'm saying? You can't get hurt at this part. Come on.
Gotcha.
So it's a fun movie.
Speaking of being a part of the adventure, Mike, what do you think about Westworld?
Well, I love the TV show, and I hadn't watched this in years, so I went back and watched it. I had watched Westworld over like a 2-month time, and then the movie was on HBO Max, so I watched it, and I was just kind of like, man, this is completely different than the TV show. So then when I rewatched it, this week, it just made me really want to miss the TV show. It makes me want to rewatch it again because it's so in depth and layered. And this is just so basic and plain and simple and just straightforward. Like, here's the point.
There's an hour and a half, you know what I'm saying, versus a season. Yeah. Although there's an episode where Bernard is in like a basement, and you see the character, the evil cowboy character played by Yul Brynner, his carcass is or his body's like hanging in the background.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
So they reference, and they even make some references in the show that there was an incident, and you don't know if you're talking about the initial incident with Dolores, or if you're talking about an incident before that, which could be in the show, or whatever, the original film. But they definitely, tongue-in-cheek references, and I don't know if that, again, they kind of are ambiguous with some of that, but the movie stands on its own as obviously aspiration for the show. And I like the first couple of seasons of the show. I don't necessarily love the third season, but the movie started all, and I think it was a good inspiration to draw from. That concept of these parks and all that and evil robots and stuff is just a cool concept. I'm surprised they didn't take from it before. Well, they did for Beyond Westworld, but that didn't work.
Well, I did like how, and I did like they showed the different worlds. They showed Roman world, and they showed the medieval world, because you didn't get a lot of that in the TV show, except for maybe like a handful of episodes.
Yeah,
in season 2. So, but it was nice to see the different worlds. So, yeah, I thought the movie's fun. Like it's pretty simple. It's straightforward and it's cut and dry. So,
Well, you know,
Like-
that's Michael Crichton's structure. That's what he does in his books. He just kind of gets to it, right? And he kind of explains it efficiently, and that's why I really like him, because he's a very efficient writer at getting his ideas and themes across. And I watched one video this week where they were talking about that it's almost unfair. I haven't seen the Westworld show, but that they were like, it's unfair to compare the two because this was like made by a cheap studio. It had to be cut down. Like there's some really cool stuff in it, and I think there's some. We'll get to style and structure, obviously. It's got some issues, but for the most part, I think it's pretty cool. And the way that it was the inspiration for something that apparently develops that philosophy even further. And you also got to think that from 73 into whenever Westworld came out a few years ago, like a lot more has been philosophy about like artificial intelligence and machine consciousness has been worked with. Right. And there's a lot more technology, of course, to play with. And then the episodic nature of things, you obviously have more time to really get people to fall in love with characters. Yeah. And in the old days, in 73, and this is a time when there were a lot of sci-fi movies. And so people went and saw them and there was a big demand, but most of them like just didn't quite hit. Right. Like 70s was huge for sci-fi, but it really was only Star Wars that made the biggest impact. Like nobody made an impact like that. Right.
Logan Run had a minor impact.
A minor,
yeah. It didn't have sequels. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, speaking of minor impact, Brooks, what do you think about Westworld? Was this your first time watching it?
Yeah. I'd never seen this movie. I'd never even heard of it until like the HBO series was, came around. But I actually watched this movie twice because the first time I couldn't remember. I'd forgotten to listen for the soundtrack. So I watched it a second time, and I'm actually glad I did because I actually appreciated this movie a lot more on the second watch than I did the first. And the only thing is I wish that I would have liked the movie to have gone deeper into like what the cause behind the whole robots turning would have been, rather than the perspective of the park goers. It's like I'm like, man, is it giving them like free will or something? Like, because they don't really tell you what exactly is going on. It's just like some kind of vague malfunction where the robots just, kind of do their own thing.
Yeah, but the gunslinger,
supposed to.
The gunslinger is obviously holding a grudge against these two fuckers.
Yeah, I like to think that he's intentionally going after this guy because he got killed by him twice. And
he remembered it for sure.
He has opportunities where he could have actually killed him, but he doesn't. When he sees him up on the cliff top, he actually shoots his hat off instead. So I like to think that he's fucking with him, just trying to fucking scare him as much as he can before he kills him.
Little cat and mouse.
Yeah,
that's nice. Stalker.
I love his 8-bit vision too.
Yeah, he gets better graphic vision. Yeah,
that is groundbreaking. That's the first digital effects video. There's something John might know a little bit more about that, but
I looked it up. Apparently I thought it was early CGI, but I looked it up and it wasn't actually CGI because it was going to be too expensive.
Yeah, well, they use CGI in the future world.
Yeah, they still use some really cool visual stuff to give that effect. I mean, it's still amazing for 1973. That was mind-boggling.
It was the first something though. It was the first digital something, is what it was, but. Maybe Mike. It was the first digital image processing done in film. It was the first feature film to use digital image processing, which was something you could do with a click of a button today, which is to pixelate an image. They had to do this crazy, expensive, long ass process to do it. But he wanted to do that. And look at the inspiration here. The character of the gunslinger totally influences things like, let's say, Michael Myers. I'm on board with that. More on the nose, the Terminator, right?
Yeah,
and with the way that Michael Crichton, it was very important to him to show the way that he saw things. And so back in the day, imagine how groundbreaking that was to see as if a computer was seeing it, right? But that's something that, that's a precursor to the Predator, so.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of interesting stuff about that. But let's move back into the cast. We already touched and highlighted a little bit. John, this was your pick. I want to know, who's your favorite character? Because I know mine, and I'm pretty sure it's yours. So I'm just going to let you go first because it's your pick.
I was going to say Yul Brynner and steal it from everybody.
Yes!
He's a great actor. He was great in Magnificent Seven, and he plays an evil version of that character, it's the same fucking costume, the same hat. I don't know how they got away. Like, dude, it's like the people that the people that do the costumes are like, fuck it, just bring your clothes. Just bring your clothes from the other movie. We're busy with all this other stuff. He's really intimidating. He really, and that whatever they do, they give that like his glowing eyes. Were there contacts in 1973? I don't know if there were contacts. I mean, I don't know
think there were.
that part.
But they have shiny eyes. I think it's easy to make.
Mike, can you find out if they had contact lenses in 1973 for special effects?
They probably did. Whatever else they did, I mean, some of it's very explainable, but that one always kind of got me.
If they did, I bet they hurt like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh, you're probably right.
Just
He's a trooper. I don't know, hey man, he's just so intimidating, and he is intimidating at the beginning, and you can tell the guy doesn't want to confront him at the bar.
Yeah.
Even though he's just probably a robot or whatever. But then he shows back up. That scene too, when he falls out the window, it doesn't look like a stunt double. If it is a stunt double, it doesn't look like a lot of movies in that era. When somebody fell out of a window, you could tell it was clearly a doll because their arms would be like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't look that way when he falls out.
I think
Like,
Brendan fell in one part of the shot, and it was like a away shot.
Okay, because
And
it was
a different shot. It was like a hat.
Yeah, when he shoots him out the window, but
Yeah,
he's just
it's
menacing,
different.
just following him. Even when he escapes and goes,
Yeah.
Under the tunnel and goes to Rome World and everything, the gunslinger just keeps following him, and he's so menacing.
He follows his track.
And he's badass. Not only the revolver,
Crazy.
he's got that rifle. What do you
The
call that
rifle. I don't
rifle?
know.
That shoots like that. I forget what it's called. Anyway, he's just badass, man. And he's just seriously. And you're right. Robbie nailed it. I'm thinking Terminator the whole time. Like he had to be the inspiration for the Terminator because he's a killer robot machine who's good with the gun. Because you also see him doing the flicking thing when he puts his gun away. And Yul Brynner like learned that for Magnificent Seven. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, dude, his movements are so mechanical. Like when he first comes in, you first see him, and he comes in there and he sits at the bar, and he's just like, and the way he drinks his shot, it's like just like this is a master of his craft. And the sad thing is, he had done. He tried to launch that TV series based on King and I, like Anna and the King or something, right? And it failed. And apparently he was like really hard up for money, and so like he did this for $75K. And like worth so much more than that, right? But he fucking did it, and it, like it doesn't matter. And like that's something that's inspirational to me about him in particular in this role. Is it didn't matter if maybe there were hard times and he took less of a paycheck to do this low budget film, he still gave it everything he could. Very small role. All he does for the most part is stalks this fucking dude. But no cowboy in any Western ever is as intimidating as this dude when he shows up and looks at him, kills his friend, smiles, and just goes, draw. Like, oh my goodness.
Here's my question for you, Robbie. How could Yul Brynner's character drink that whiskey, but when he gave that one girl robot water, she blew up?
Yeah,
Dude,
no
water. That's a continuity error.
She's exploding. Yeah,
unless there's different models, maybe the male models have like an area to dump liquid because you see other guys drinking alcohol.
But she's like making it like a big social interaction thing with people. So you want all the robots to be able to do it.
In Rome World, maybe maybe they don't drink the water. She was a slave. She was chained up, so she didn't.
She didn't have that function.
She's in the medieval world, right?
Also, the contact lens was created.
She was a medieval world. You're
in
right.
1888, and the contact lens that we know and love today was created in 1948.
Ooh. I think John's checking you. That's so ridiculous.
No,
All
I'm
right.
not checking that. I want to see if we had contacts for
John. Thank you. Yul Brynner, you're right. That's 100%. All right. But there are other characters in this movie. Let's spotlight some. Jelani, who you want to spotlight?
Well, I'm going back to Dick Van Patten since y'all took Yul Brynner. God dang it. I like Dick Van Patten in this movie. Like, if he wasn't a character in this film, I would be that character at Westworld. Oh, yeah. 100%. Like, I'd be gung-ho into that stuff, man. Shooting, riding horses, getting snake bit. It's such a fun experience.
What else would you be doing?
Jelani be fucking some robots,
I'd be
man.
fucking some robots.
Here's my thing. I would really want to know, like, how. Think about this. How do they clean them? I know that they operate them on ship, but
well, they take them out at night.
Every 2 weeks they clean them.
They clean them. That would be gross. I'm sure there are like ways to like not get STDs in the future, so I'm sure they fixed that. But either way, that would be a great place to go.
That's like, hold on a second. Would you use somebody's fleshlight, for instance?
No.
This is the same
Same
thing.
concept. Oh, not really.
I use Brooks's all the time.
Not really.
He left it in my dishwasher, so I'm like, I'm gonna use it.
Anyway, Jelena, you were saying?
Dick Van Patten in this movie. Like, I liked all the guests that they like highlight. So, of course, the main characters. And you have, like, of course, Dick Van Patten. But then you have, like, the guy, the Knight, that's, like, there to just have fun.
The Black Knight?
Yeah. Fights the Black Knight. And, yeah, that guest I'm talking about. Not the Black Knight.
Yeah, the douchebag guy.
The douchebag guy.
He's just credited as Medieval Knight.
Wow, and that's it.
That's it.
That's
his.
He dies.
Nice.
But yeah, stuff like that. Just
nice.
to highlight.
Yeah, the little highlights, little touches in there to let you show. I mean, they really go out. This is about a theme park, and it's about a theme park. And like, I know that the show has this idea that it's really, I heard it gets really deep into some things, but like, this is just about like a theme park that goes wild, and it doesn't really get so much into the artificial intelligence because I don't think that the machine stuff was Crichton's biggest point, but of course we'll get to that later. Mike, what's a character you'd like to highlight?
Let's talk about James Brolin's character, John Blaine.
Awesome. He's just a badass too, man.
I've been here before. Just follow my lead.
He just like dives right into it.
Yeah, because he knows what to do.
Yeah, and it's John Blaine instead of John Wayne, right? So.
Yeah.
He's got the Eastwood look down.
Yeah, he does.
Like a man with no meaning.
Yeah, he does.
Look. He had to be working on that hair for a while.
Oh yeah,
he had great hair.
Coiffed.
Yeah,
you were saying, Mike?
No, he's just a regular take charge character, kind of like the what's his name? The Peter was all kind of like, I don't know if I want to do this or not. He's like, just do it.
Yeah, well,
that's why we're here. That's why he's spending $1,000 a day.
Yeah, right. And he had been there before, right? So he went there before, and he was like, "Yo, he wants to take his friend and like show him a good time." They mentioned that he's recently divorced or some shit like that. So like,
but he's like talking about wanting to bring the kids.
Yeah, well, I want to bring the kids. No, you don't, because you're gonna go and you're gonna have some sex with some robots and kill some robots. So that's basically you're paying $1,000 for that. So I don't know. I don't know if I would do all. That will be a later question. Brooks, what's the character you'd like to highlight?
Well, I purposely picked like an obscure character, but I like the woman in the black dress from the tavern.
Like the madam?
The head woman there.
Yeah, the madam. Okay. Yeah.
She
don't give a fuck. She's drinking too.
Yeah.
Maybe the machines drink like oil.
Maybe she's real. How many people? There's people mixed in that work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That work at the park. Make things that are going okay.
She's just like a rogue worker going there, and she performs and creates this role because she can get free liquor.
Yeah.
You're telling me you wouldn't do that? Wait, who's the
god! I mean, think about this. We caught Fred in the back, fucking one of the robots again. That's a nice one, Brooks. Any particular reason why?
No, she just caught my eye.
Okay. Ooh, caught your eye. Nice.
Her name? That was Miss Carey, by the way.
Miss Carey, huh?
Oh,
Miss Carey.
Miss Carey, these nuts in your face. Anyway, well, nobody said Richard Benjamin. I'll say him. First of all, he looks like he's Andrew Garfield in 1973 to me, right? And
that porn stash.
Yeah, and I love his character. I love his journey because he's very timid at first, and then he once he kills the gunslinger, he's kind of freaked out about it. But then the first night he has relations with the robot, he wakes up and now he's cool. He's getting in bar fights. He's breaking out of jails. He's embracing it. And then the moment when Thanos' dad gets got, and he's just realizes, oh shit. And then literally the last like 30 minutes of this movie is just this fucking dude being chased by the fucking Yul Brynner. Like that's like it. Like that movie. Like that's why it's so iconic to me for like the idea of the stalking, unstoppable hero or villain, right? Like a Terminator or like a like a Michael Myers, something like that. All right, let's talk about the style and structure of the film. I think here's the thing. I think that it does get to the point, and it is brisk, and it's got a nice pace. I like the pace of the film. Each act is very well done. The introduction to the world, to the characters, them fooling around in the world, right? And then the world breaks down, and then the chase. Like, I think it's a really nice structure. The problem is, and I love those characters like Jelani was mentioning, and like Brooks were mentioning, right? But like, there are so many bits in this movie that distract from the main thread of the movie. And at times it feels like there's a skit thrown in. And I know that Michael Crichton, MGM, was known for, like I said, being cheap and demanding rewrites and shit like that, like constantly. And so you can imagine they were trying to throw in more comedy here or more of this, but who knows what was the studio, what was Michael Crichton, right? But to me, but I like it. I mean, I like those bits. Like, I think it gives the movie a charm that otherwise, because originally the movie was longer, Crichton cut it down because he said it was kind of dull and depressing. So he didn't want that movie. So maybe those moments hype it up. So I think it's actually structured very well. I mean, Michael Crichton knows the story structure, right? He had been doing it for years up until this point. The special effects are actually pretty decent for its time. Like that stuff looks amazing when they move the face and all that stuff, and the digital imaging the first time ever, I guess, station for that, whatever the hell that is. I watched a whole video about what that process was, and I still didn't understand what they did. I was like, why don't you just blur the fucking camera? Anyway, I'm so used to technology today. But I love the cinematography, the way this movie is shot, the directing of it. Like, Michael Crichton was really good at using that 235 by 1, cinescope, right? Like, that's what you need for a Western, and it apes on the Western stuff a lot. And I really like how it switches between those styles. John, what do you think about the style and structure of the film?
Before I get to that, I want to point out that Yul Brynner had to stop filming because a wad from one of the fake, they had blank cartridges, got into his eye and scratched his cornea, and he couldn't wear his contacts. And he had light reflecting contacts that he could not wear for the rest of the filming. Well, not for the rest. They had to basically pause until he could wear his contacts again, until his eye healed up. So he did have light reflecting contacts he wore, but again, they got damaged because a wadding came out of the back of, one of the blank cartridges. So sorry. I like the style and structure. It works. There is that B story with medieval world, and you see some other stuff going on. It kind of does help, though, when you see that first the Dark Knight or the Black Knight or the Evil Knight or whatever kill that guy because you're not supposed to kill him. That's when shit's going wrong, and you see. And also, let's point out, all these machines are distinctly 70s machines, like when you're in the computer lab. But these robots look pretty realistic. Like, there's like a huge detachment in the technology. But the computers look like light rails. Yeah. That girl, those prostitutes looked amazingly real, except they couldn't do the hands. But they figured out other parts. Anyway,
we call them sex workers now, I guess, John.
I'm sorry. Ladies of the evening.
Lady of the night.
I do think that, but it's an hour and a half, and I think they accomplish a lot in an hour and a half. It's a very short story. Again, Michael Crichton has a lot under his belt in the directing, and it didn't feel like, I felt like if I did a couple films, I would still be in a very amateur, when it comes to cinematography and stuff like that. Of course, I don't know who did the cinematography. I didn't look that up, but it still seems like it would be, I don't know, there'd be some.
Gene Polito did the cinematography.
Okay. So maybe he was very, maybe that helped Michael. I don't know.
He also did Up in Smoke, Lost in Space, and Future World.
Oh, he did Up in Smoke. But
those are the highlights of his career.
What's this make, the show or the movie?
I don't know, man. I just hovered over his name in Wikipedia, and those are the ones they mentioned.
But I think it works. I think it's a cool concept. I think the story works, and I mean, there's nothing to complain about. I mean, you feel like you get a lot in an hour and a half, for sure. And it does feel like initially that there's a lot of setup, like, oh, they're going out and they're having fun, they're doing this, and they don't go to the bank robbery. It feels like there's a lot in that first hour, and then you have the them turning or whatever. But actually, if you go back and watch it, I guess they're kind of building up with that because you're seeing the guys in the room and they're talking about the virus or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They are building up to this.
Do you know what the opening of the film reminds me of? Is 2001: A Space Odyssey. How slow and deliberately paced it is for him to get to the station, the information, the way it's delivered, very exposition-y. It's like, get it out of the way and then fucking roll. You know what I'm saying?
I also like that Thanos' dad used to say, it was just like, I don't need to listen to this shit. I've been here before.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, he was in a show called Hotel.
Yes, he was.
And Connie Selica was in that show. And Connie Selica was in Beyond Westworld, the show.
Oh, nice connection, bro. How's Kevin Bacon involved?
So she went on to do great things, including, well, I would say great things, but she was in that Greatest American Hero or whatever. But I wonder if she would have done what she did if Beyond Westworld didn't get canceled, because she's the only one that went on to do a lot after Beyond Westworld. Everybody else kind of like did nothing. And she went on to be in tons of stuff, including working with Westworld. Yeah, that's just a weird connection, is it not?
Yeah, she's married to John Tesh. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's time for some Tesh talk. Speaking of Tesh talking, Jelani, what do you think about the style and structure of the film?
And give us more Tesh facts, if you could.
Yeah. Well,
it's time to testify.
Testify. God, we did testify a while. Man, good times. But this film, with all of its fun, because it's a very punchy movie. It turns, of course, that turn is really quick. When it happens, it happens. So I love the style and structure of the film. For the robots, I like how the robots are differential from the humans. You can't tell certain things, especially at this point where I'm getting chased by a stalker robot. I'm checking everybody's hands, like immediately.
Yeah, so, the girl being unlocked or whatever. Why do you check her hands?
Why do you check her hands? You know what I'm saying? They make it a point to show you the hands. And I'm like, you have to show them their hands to know if they're robots and stuff like that. It's little things like that. Those are touches I wish they had more in the TV show. It was a little different in the TV show, but I'm sure we're going to talk about that. But it's completely different from the show. And I like that this is the beginning of that, because I do believe that the events that happen in the movie happen on the TV show. That's why there's like a lower level in the newer park when they show the newer park. So it's cool. It has its moments. Michael Crichton in this film, I didn't know he directed it. I didn't pay attention to the director. And when I found out it was Crichton, I was like, wow, yeah, it is. He
wrote it, he directed it, and he catered all of it.
He did all of that, and it's
he catered all the food.
That joke is that's the joke we always use, man. Is that he was also the caterer?
He's the caterer.
Yeah, I like that, man.
He makes finger sandwiches you wouldn't fucking believe.
Well, yeah, when he came up with the concept, he goes, "This is not something. This depends so much on people understanding and remembering old westerns that they've watched and old." Like, Roman movies they've watched and medieval movies they've watched, things set in like period pieces. And he's like, that's hard. That would be difficult to do in a novel. So he deliberately wrote it for the screen. And the novelization of it was actually just the screenplay. So it's the original full screenplay with nothing cut out of it. And they haven't had it in print since the 70s. And I'm a Michael Crichton fan, so I can guarantee this. That shit is expensive. And I want to find a copy in the wild one day, and nobody know what the hell they are.
I'd love to see what the differences are. You know what I'm saying? There might be some glaring differences between the final product. I'd love to see it.
Yeah. Nice. Mike, what do you think about the story, style, and structure?
Well, one thing that I thought was cool, and John might recognize this too, because it's about the movie. I loved that in the movie that it's like when they were working on the horses and the animals, they were just on the operating table.
Yeah.
It's like a full horse.
Like, it was just so funny. and like how they did the repairs to the robots compared to how they did them in the show, and like all the animals and everything. And it's so cool because that's where Star Wars failed, because you have the prequels, like everything looks so, it's like this happened before. And it's like, what, this looks terrible. Like what happened to all of that? And then it was just cool to see like that transition, even in the show recognizing the technology was just doing nothing but improving the whole entire time. Style and structure, I mean, it's pretty. It reminds me a lot of the Star Trek. What's the Star Trek movie with the Borg?
First Contact.
It reminds me of First Contact. It's like set up. Here we go. Here's the problem. Bam, and then it just runs. So,
I mean, but sometimes y'all know how I feel about sometimes movies that are. I love long ass movies. We had this discussion last night with Eric Palicki, I think. Like, I like long movies that are meant to be long and feel like they deserve to be long. They don't, because they don't feel long to me. Seven Samurai doesn't feel long to me. Okay. But like, some movies are way longer than they should be. And I think a lot of horror movies and comedy movies and science fiction movies, like, you don't get an hour and a half sci-fi movie anymore with a high concept like this, you know, because this is high concept, especially for its time.
Oh, so,
yeah, I think this movie is rather important and overlooked, actually, the more that I have thought and studied it over the week. Speaking of studying over the course of a week, it takes a lifetime to study Brooks. Brooks, the master of Mario Mutant Master Magnetism Machines. Tell us what you think about the style and structure of Westworld.
Well, I think it's got a pretty good structure, but the beginning is kind of I get a little bored, honestly, with the beginning of this movie. You know, just seeing everybody like, you know, in the theme park doing their thing. Like, it doesn't really get really interesting to me until like the machines start going rogue. But, like, once it does, like, you know,
it picks up a notch.
Once the action gets started, like, that's when I think the movie gets really good. But I mean, it's not like there still are enjoyable aspects to the first half of the movie. Like, it's got some, you know, funny parts and, you know, good character development. But I just think, like, I'm more interested in the robots in this movie than I am in the fucking human characters.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask Brooks if he would go to that park. If that was a real park, Brooks, and it was in like Nashville, would you visit it? Pre them going crazy and murdering people.
If it was a lot cheaper, yes.
I don't know, $1,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
That was 1973. What is that today?
No shit, right?
Yeah,
I mean, like, how expensive is it to go to Jurassic Park?
John, you're a car guy, so you'll truly appreciate this. But in 1973, a brand new Corvette cost $5,000. Like, top of the line Corvette, 1973, $5K. Like, that's a week in the park, or buying a Corvette. Like, it's a lot of money. So you probably just put that in mind.
Yeah.
Of how expensive it would cost today.
No shit, right? All right. Let's talk about the music, because Brooks, I'm so proud of Brooks, because Brooks watched this movie a second time to make sure he paid attention to the music. Fred Karlin did this movie, and I am not super familiar with his work, so I'm looking real quick to see if anything pops out in my head. I don't know any of these movies except for Future World. Grease Lightning? Okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I don't really... Okay, that's fine. Here's one. He did Minstrel Man in 1977, for which he received an NAACP Image Award. But I'm not familiar with any of these films. Anyway, I really like half of the score in this film, and the other half of the score feels like they just used like house music, like they just used like royalty-free
Western music,
Western themes. And I get that Karlin was probably doing that on purpose, but there are moments in this movie where, aside from the traditional medieval or Roman or Western vibe, you have this distinctive electronic, dark, slow, like malicious sounding thing that really starts ramping up in that third act with the structure, with the chase. And out of all the structure, my favorite act is actually 2, because I just love the hijinks. Like I just would have loved a series of movies about the hijinks of all these different worlds. And I love the idea that in Future World, they added in Spa World and Future World, right? Obviously. Spa World, that sounds like the one to go to, right? Like the whole world.
A giant department store that sells just luxury spas.
Yeah, right. That's the way it's so weird. It's a retail world coming soon. So the music for me,
Super Mario World shit with all the different worlds.
For the music,
like warp pipes and shit.
Yeah, probably. So the music to me is all right. I really like the more like originally created type stuff, and the stuff that's like mimicking the other stuff is good and it's doing its purpose. But I think this movie with a better score could have been like that bar fight that goes on a little bit too long.
Oh
that
my
music,
God.
like so. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think about the music, John?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think you nailed it. I think there's that generic, like, you got the medieval music, you got the Roman music, you got the cowboy music, and it's very whatever the cowboy music was kind of that time, and it's very generic. And you're right, like the first half of the film or the first 2/3, and it does feel generic, but it definitely changes when the tone of the film changes. When the robots go evil and Yul Brynner's character is going evil, and it definitely changes, and you get a more authentic music, original music, and it works. I like the music. I just wish we would have got more original music. And for all I know, that generic cowboy music was original. Like, oh yeah, that's original, guys. I just based it on the period of what I thought would be like. Well, okay, it's shit.
It is. It is. They didn't pull that. That's originally composed.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's got that such generic. You know what I'm saying? But it works. I guess it works because it's applicable to that. But at the same time, it feels, if you would have turned this on, say it was on like TBS, and you flipped to the channels and you caught just that scene, you think it was any other shitty Western. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly.
You wouldn't know anything else. Any of these are robots or anything like that. So,
but that's the point, I guess. And the other point, though, is that maybe they could have more deliberately set up the threat. Like if I would have made this movie today, like if they were like, Robbie, do an hour and a half remake of Westworld, I would be like, all right, first of all, we're going to kill more people. Right? Like that's what you do. You started off with more people dying, and then they're hiding bodies, and they're not just hiding the idea that this person said no to sex. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wouldn't fly today, by the way, anyway. So like, but like there would be more death, more threat looming to build up, but it still never changes that fact of that turn that on Richard Benjamin's face when Yul Brynner like kills his friend and he's like, draw, motherfucker. And he's like, there's nothing. You're right, dude. John, this movie is scary as fuck. There's nothing scarier than Yul Brynner as a robot coming after you. Like, holy cow. I just realized I got the Suns game in front of me. I love this new studio. I'm like watching on the big screen right there. Anyway, Jelani, what do you think about the music in the film?
Yeah, I agree. It's very generic. It's just hokey at times. When the turn happens and the music gets a little more sinister, it's okay. It's fine. It's nothing to write home about. And I don't really watch it for the score, which I should, because it should have like Jaws music. There should be something that like evokes terror in me.
Pay attention to all the music in the bits in the control room and all the music at the end. And do not forget how, like, we never even mentioned this yet, how fucking terrible of a death is it to suffocate in a room because your dumbass cut off the power?
All died. You cut the power, but you suffocate in a room and you can't get out because the doors are electric.
I didn't realize that they all died. You know what I'm saying? It was later years when I watched it. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if I was a kid. I thought they were sleeping. I don't fucking know. I was a dumb kid.
Kind of an afterthought. It's like you just see them like kind of choking, and then like you never see him again.
Oh, I should have mentioned this. Alan Oppenheimer. The guy that played, he's freaking Skeletor.
Yeah.
Skeletor's in this movie. I keep forgetting to mention that too. But
knowing how Michael Crichton writes and knowing that there's a lot of science people talking science stuff, I bet that's what got cut out of this movie.
Yeah.
So
it will get boring. Boring science talk.
Speaking of science people talking science stuff, Mike, what'd you think about the music in the film?
There's music. I don't remember it. I'm pulling Brooks on this one. So, like, I remember the piano, the bar fight with the piano player. and then just kind of I remember a lot more of the sound effects of like all the sounds the computers made, the air car, the air train flying in, like it had like I remember a lot more of the sound effect sounds, and was paying more attention to like the stunts because a lot of them were still basic stunts, but it was still just a lot of just like, oh damn, how'd they do that? And it's fun to actually see like some hard, like falling out of a window. It's really easy today. It's not easy back then. So like it was a big stunt. So just the sound effect.
The
sound
flames
effects,
of the stunts are awesome.
Yeah. Like that dude's on just on fire.
I was on fire, and he's walking
like a good 5 minutes.
Like damn.
How come he shows up later? All his face is all burnt, but his clothes aren't burnt.
Yeah.
Like the plastic is the plastic's it's melted to the plastic.
Is on fire.
Okay.
It's all plastic, so it all melted.
It's so cool.
But yeah, so it's like the special effects and the sounds I thought were, and the sound effects were, because when you see the old computer and it just makes little noises.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it's all reel. I like the big reels.
Yeah.
And you don't get to see that today in a lot of science fiction. It's overlooked.
Computing. Yeah.
It's just like, oh, hey, the computer shows us this, and it's actually watching it work. It's fun.
Brooks, what do you think about the music? Since you watched it again specifically to pay attention to it.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm actually glad I watched this movie again with the specific intent of listening to the music. Because originally I was just gonna be like, it's just it's all right. Just regular music didn't really stick out to me. But like when I actually watched it and was paying attention to the music, I kind of appreciate it more because it does start out with a lot of that typical Western sound. Lots of fiddles and banjo and stuff like that. But when it gets to, when the turn happens, like it's kind of like that same kind of music, but done in a different way. So like the fiddle becomes less, and becomes more like, sinister and fucking like tense and stuff. It's like kind of like it still has that kind of underlying Western theme, but done like in a different way as to make it more, suspenseful.
Yeah, more menacing.
Like, I really appreciated the soundtrack in this movie a lot more from having actually listened to it and like noticed.
Dude, it's the third
kind of shift.
It's the third act. It's the chase story. It's the chase act where it goes ham. That's where the music really gets to explore. That's where Carlin gets to explore his own stuff and relevant to the movie outside of just because the movie does a great job of completely capturing an old school Western, and maybe that's because MGM didn't have a lot of money. And this was one of the last movies I think filmed on the MGM backlot, so they just were, and maybe that's one of the reasons why, like, there's a rumor that he didn't want to spend so much time in Roman world or medieval world, right? But like, they were like, well, we got these sets, so let's just do it, right? So, who knows, right? But I'm glad that you took the time to appreciate the music, man. Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. All right, what's this movie about? But before we get to that, real quick, John, would you go to Delos, and which one would you pick out of Westworld and Roman world and medieval world? Which, by the way, medieval world sounds like no thank you to me, but whatever.
Westworld seems like it'd be a lot of fun, but I don't know how to ride a horse. Do they show you how to ride a horse? Was that going to be a deal breaker? You just automatically, because these people, they all were all riding horses, so did they take lessons?
Here's a fun fact. Richard Benjamin lied about knowing how to ride a horse to get the part and then had to learn how to ride a horse.
He did a good job. He did a good job. Oh, I was going to point something out. He's like, you can't shoot a human, a live person because it's got that heat sensor or whatever, and that explains the battery or whatever, and you'll see Yul Brynner's. But that's not accounting for the fact that if I go to shoot a bad cowboy and there's somebody standing right next to him or behind him, what's stopping that bullet from you know what I'm saying? You're not accounting for innocent bystanders. You can't control a bullet. You know what I'm saying? That part doesn't make any sense. Somebody's going to get accidentally shot. Sorry.
Okay.
I would definitely go it will be the most fun as long as I don't got to ride a fucking horse. And I don't want to use an outhouse. Make sure there's a bathroom attached to the room I'm staying. Please, for the love of God. I don't want to share a bathroom. I don't want to share one of those old.
I can see you doing all of this.
But I would go to Westworld. It would be tons of fun, man.
Jelani, which one?
I would be a sheriff.
Which one would you go to, Jelani?
I go to Roman world all day, all night. it looks like it's fun. You have to lay around, do nothing. Like a real freaking beautiful vacation. You know what I'm saying?
Caligula, don't you?
Yeah, that too.
He does.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, dude. True story.
Mike, which one would you go to?
I have to agree with John. I have to go to Westworld. And riding a horse is not that hard. And
I don't know. I can't do it. I couldn't do it.
It's not a big deal. And if you go to a concert and use a porta potty, it's the same as using an outhouse. So
John doesn't use porta potties.
I try not to. God, gross.
Yeah, they're terrible, but I mean, it's you got to.
No,
I mean, you either just walk out in the desert.
I'll pee in them, but I won't shit in one.
No,
if I have a shit emergency, I'm running to the nearest goddamn McDonald's or whatever the fuck, buying a cheeseburger. Like, what do I got to do to use the restroom? Give me a milkshake. I don't
Robbie drinking a shit, eating a cheeseburger.
Brooks, what about you? Where would you go?
I don't know. Like, given the option, I'd want to like spend a day in all three of them. You know, just to get the whole experience. But if I had to pick one, I'd probably go with Westworld. It's like Medieval World kind of piques my interest a little bit, but I know that medieval living was like really shitty actually. So to be like, that's probably not
but you're like
as
a
good as you
king.
think.
You know, you're a king. You know, that guy's like trying to like sleep around with all the handmaidens and shit, right? So
yeah, medieval was kind of like the douchebags world, sort of.
All I want to do is rape and pillage. I'll go to medieval world. Westworld would be fun because of the, you know, who doesn't love the Western? It'd be cool to be in there and be like, you know, I'm like goddamn Timothy Olyphant in Deadwood. I'm the badass. You know, I'm going to come in there and you're like, you draw them up. You know, you call me boy.
I'm the law now.
First one I'd go out of those three would be Roman World though. Like that'd be cool. And more for the Jelani aspect of it. But honestly, it'd be too expensive for me. I'd have to save up my money. By the time I had enough money, Future World's around, and I would go to Spa World because, I mean, bruh. Yeah. All right, what's this movie about, John? What's it trying to say?
Oh, I don't really know. I guess maybe sort of a cautionary tale of you know, with trying to control things we can't control. I mean, you got the virus and everything. I don't really know. I never saw it, and you know, I guess that's it. I mean, there's the introduction of we talked about that.
That's a great idea. Why don't you run with that? The idea that they're trying to control something and you can't always control everything, right?
Oh, it's perfectly safe. We got everything in the way this can't happen and this can't happen. And then the snake bites the dude, but that can't happen. So it is a cautionary tale that, you know, you can't control everything. And like I said, there's no way you can control that you can't shoot somebody and the other person, there could be somebody behind him or in the fucking window. Somebody's going to get shot accidentally. There's going to be a lot of accidents. Would you want to be the guy that fucking underwrites the insurance for that fucking place? No way.
No, not at all.
Because you got to
remember, this movie is set.
Day.
And this movie was released in 1973, and at the time it was written, it was set in the future of 1983, which Michael Crichton didn't quite nail that one. Maybe it should have been 2083. It's more believable. What about you, Jelani? What do you think this movie's saying?
That we rely too much on technology, and it will kill us if we do too much to it. I think they just grew sentient. I think it's just a virus that grew sentient, and they're like, okay, now we kill all the humans because they remember all of it. I go back to the show with that premise. I think that's what happened. It's just they clicked one day. Even the snakes were revolting. It's, you know what I'm saying? And it just, how are they all interconnected? I had no clue how that worked.
That's a fucking great quote. Even the snakes are revolting. I'm going to use that in something.
Even the snakes are
revolting. That, sure.
But it's such a, it is a cautionary tale, John. I agree. It's just a special film about having too much fun and paying the price for it, you know, and it's the consequences of your actions. That's what I think most of this movie is. Nice. So yeah, I get a lot out of it.
Hell yeah. What about you, Mike? What's the movie trying to say?
I mean, I really don't know. It's kind of make sure you got everything ready before you let the people into the park.
Yeah.
You know.
shut it down if somebody gets bitten by a snake. If that's highly irregular,
like that dude, that one dude's like, we need to shut it down, and they're like, no, we're gonna keep going. And it's just like, no, when the guy tells
do it.
When a guy tells you to shut it down, you shut it down. So
yeah,
that's all.
Speaking of shutting it down, Brooke, shut this down. Why don't you tell us what this movie's about?
Well, I think I probably mentioned this in the Transformers movie review, but this movie kind of speaks to me about how humans need to create beings like us just so we can treat them like garbage and not have to feel bad about it. I think that's a lot of what this movie is trying to say about, these robots. They're so lifelike and so human. And what do we do with them? We exploit them and use them to, fulfill our own pleasures and not really give a shit about them. Just shoot them and kill them, They're just there for entertainment. It's we make them look human and then we strip away their humanity so we can kind of just fulfill our most base desires, I guess.
Yeah, what does that even say about us? The fact that we want to do these things to our fellow people, but we feel guilty about it. So instead of being maybe we feel guilty because that's shitty behavior, we just build robots.
In the beginning, when he's interviewing all the people, there's the guy who's oh, he's not sure if he actually shot humans or robots. He keeps kind of going back and forth. He's yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a robot, but I don't know. But yeah, it was definitely a robot. Yeah, it was a robot. It's there's just kind of that dark side that people have there where they want to, have that experience of having
they sign some waivers,
actually having, the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. You all touched on it, what the movie's about. What I think the movie most recognizably comes across as is, like John and Jelani said, a warning about technology and how we think that we're in control of certain things and then we're not, right? And then what Mike touched on is what Michael Crichton says the movie is about and what he intended it to be about. But he said a lot of that got cut out, is that this movie is supposed to be about corporate greed, right? Image over people, company over people, right? They don't want to lose face. When they find out that there's malfunctions, they just let it ride. When they find out that one dude got killed in medieval world, they let it ride, bro. And then they just do these reactionary decisions. And what happens? They wind up suffocated because their dumbasses cut the power off. Now they can't open the door and the air's been cut off. And they were just going to leave these guests out to dry at this point too. So it serves them fucking right?
But the dude out in the cart.
Yeah. But Brooks is really touching on something right here and I think this was unintended by Crichton and not so obvious in the film, but it's right there to pick up. It is, why do we want to go to these places to drink and gamble and maybe instead of just going to a place where we can just release our dark side, and unfortunately, I guess we don't have theme parks nowadays filled with robots and androids for us to do this shit too. So people do it to real people. Exploitation happens. The sex trade is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we should embrace the idea that we all have a collective dark side and actually work with that and not just make it seem like everybody's going to be ashamed of it, that you got to go to a park to get your desires out. And not saying that your desires to kill and maim and rape and all that shit are legitimate, but acknowledge the darkness within, because otherwise it's going to come out in some gnarly ways. And when you exploit, don't be upset or surprised when the exploited rise up and rise above, right?
Collective dark side is.
Collective dark side is. All right. You out there in the chat and PCP crew, excitable we are. Excitable we are. We are the PCP crew. How many ya digs do you give this film? Out of 5 ya digs. You out there in the chat, I want to know, if you watched the original 1973 Westworld, how many out of 5 ya digs do you give it? And John, let us know, Hammertime Holshoe.
I'm going to say, I'm going to say 4 ya digs. I mean, I go back and watch it, and there's definitely some issues because the practical effects all look amazing, except for when they're landing that plane in the beginning. That looks like shit. That doesn't hold up at all. Doesn't that look bad, especially when you see outside the plane? That's the worst. Everything else looks great. Everything else holds up really well. There's a lot of film grain. It was shot on film. There's some problems even on the Blu-ray where you can see clear scratches in the film. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what print they used. Obviously, the best of what they had. There's obviously
they didn't remaster it or not.
Yeah, they didn't remaster it. Yeah, exactly. So there's definitely some flaws with the print they used.
It's a bare bone Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's very bare bone. At least we got a Blu-ray of it. You know what I'm saying?
It's honestly not a good cover. With some of the great cover art and poster art that's been done for this movie, that's a terrible cover. But
that's a part, though, that is memorable. If you're like, what was this movie about? You see that picture, you're like, oh, fuck, yeah, his face comes off. And that movie Face Off.
That's the whole marketing of the movie, right? It's like, dude, it's the cowboy who I want your face off.
You take his face.
Yeah.
For You Digs is a respectable score, though.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool concept. It was a film that terrified me as a kid. And me, go back, as a kid, I'd probably give it 5. But now rewatching it, I think it still holds up. There's still parts that are incredibly cool and way ahead of its time.
Nice. What about you, Jelani? Out of 5 You Digs, what do you give Westworld?
Yeah, I agree with John. I give it a 4 too. It's member berries to the 9th power. It's a great little film. It's a beginning, a middle, and end. It's Yul Brynner at his greatest.
He's so awesome.
He's so great in this movie, and like it's such a memorable performance to the point where he's just one of those like. It's just memorable. It just gets me there. And I like that character and I like this film. And I'll watch it again. I'll watch it down the road. So, yeah, I'll give it a good solid 4.
Nice. 4s across the board so far. What about you, Mike? What do you think?
I'm going to give it a 4 too. It's just one of those, whatchamacallit. It's fun. It's a fun movie. Like, I enjoyed it when I watched it the first time and I'm enjoying it again. So it's just a fun movie, and it's got a lot of rewatchability. So
nice.
But yeah.
All right. What about you, Brooks?
Yeah, I'll give it a 4 too. It's the first time I watched it, I was like, this movie's probably a 3.5. But on the second watch, I'm like, it's more like a 4. Like it is a fun movie, but it does drag a little bit for me in the early game. And I don't, obviously, because I don't care as much about the human characters, but it is still a good fun movie, and I would recommend it.
Yeah, I would recommend it as well. I'm going to go right along with you guys and say 4.
Fantastic 4.
Yeah, it's going to be a Fantastic 4 tonight because like Brooks, I was originally going to give it a 3.5. But the more I actually started thinking about what Crichton was doing and why he intended this to be a film and not a book, the more I thought about it, the more I let it sink in, I really want to push it up because Yul Brynner's performance in particular. And when you find out that he did that for $75K, like for him, that's like
$75.
Yeah, $75K to him's like $75 to us. So like, or at least to me. So like most actors, when they do, there are a lot of actors who are worth something, but they do movies for less and they give less of a performance. Yul Brynner does not do that. And what Michael Crichton was trying to say and what he was trying to predict, I think is pretty extravagant. I think this movie is actually a very monumental achievement in science fiction for 1973. And I think it's underappreciated. So, there you go. 4 from me, 4 from the entire board, from Holshoe, from Jelani, from Mike, from Brooks. So that means a PCP average of 4.69, dudes, because why the hell not, right?
Wait, is that how math works? Okay.
PCP math works that way.
Oh, okay.
62 Lefty Blue says, solid 4. Saw it at the theater at least 9 times.
Holy shit.
Nice.
That would have been cool to see at the theater.
Hell yeah.
It was 11.
Wow.
Travis, TM Nerdy, says, I'm going to check out this movie now. Great review as always. 5 You Digs for the breakdown. Well, thank you so much, young man. Because he's watched the show, but not the movie.
He's got to see the movie. The movie, is a piece of, cinematic history, in my opinion. I bit my tongue when I said that.
No. And Steve says 4 You Digs, 5 You Digs for Richard Benjamin's mustache game. You ain't kidding there.
Okay.
Great 70s mustache.
I tell you what, if they remake this film, they need to call me because I don't have to write the script, but let me co-plot the story. More deaths, and let me cast the film. You ready for this? Benjamin's character is Andrew Garfield. with a mustache. Okay. You see it, right?
Yeah.
And then Brolin's character, James Brolin's character, is Christian Bale. Because he kind of looks like Christian Bale in the movie.
Josh.
He kind of looks like Christian Bale in the movie,
Yeah,
though,
he
bro.
does, actually. Yeah.
Just saying. So anyway, that's our breakdown and review and discussion and analysis, if you will, of Westworld. It was John's pick. That's right. And now we are done with PCP Movie Night. We're done. It's over. Just kidding. Only for 2 weeks. We're taking a 2-week break. Well deserved. But when we come back, y'all, you ready for this? It's Action Fest. Here's the rundown. Action Fest. We return July 2nd with Cobra. The next week, Die Hard. Then the week after that, The Fifth Element, which was the winner of the PCP Army Action Fest movie poll. Then we're doing the John Wick trilogy. Then we're doing another poll, and it's going to be all Keanu Reeves-centric action films. And then we're doing Cowboy Face-Off for August 6th. And we're going to wrap it all up with the Fast and Furious franchise. But even though we're on break for the next 2 weeks, Dylan is not, and we are continuing on tomorrow night with a full moon double feature, Head of the Family, picked by Dylan, and Creepazoids, picked by me. By the way, I watched Head of the Family today. That movie's fucking awesome. Y'all need to watch Head of the Family. That movie, if you like Reanimator, I'm not saying it's as good as Reanimator. It's not, but it's got some Reanimator vibes to it, man. I really like that movie. Anyway, thank you, PCP Army, for joining us. When we come back, because we're just taking a quick break, don't worry. You know we're not going anywhere. PCP Back Chat, we got a lot of news to talk about, lots of food to talk about, I'm sure, and a little bit of show and tell. So we'll be right back, y'all. Love you. I hit the wrong button. Look at that.
Hey, John.
What's up? What's going on, buddy?
Not much. I wish we could do a in-depth review on the TV show.
Oh yeah, I
I-
like the show.
I like season 3. I thought that was really fun.
I like the concept of certain things I like about season 3. I just miss the park. You know what I'm saying? It deviates so much. I do like some of the concept and them doing the backstory and talking about how the park came to be, and there's some really cool concepts. I really like Jesse Pinkman. I can't remember his real name or his name.
Aaron
I
Paul.
do like him in the show. Again, there's things I liked about it. It was nice to see more of. I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it as much as season 1 or 2. Although season 3 felt like they had a story and a direction. Season 2 felt like there was no direction. Even though I liked season 2 a lot because it was still at the park. But that whole thing about getting on the train and where they were going, they didn't seem like they knew where. Right? Am I wrong about that? They didn't have less direction.
It loses
season 3
its
had a
direction.
more defined direction, but it wasn't at the park. But stuff was really cool, like the one badass robot thing that he had that was like the robot worker. And there was stuff that was really cool. There's some really cool concepts that I did like in 3. I wasn't in love with 3. I'm happy they're doing a season 4. This was supposed to be the violence, the nudity. This is supposed to be Game of Thrones replacement for HBO. That was supposed to be the next big thing. I don't know how well it's done for them. I know it was successful. I know it didn't falter, but I don't think it's had the same success overall.
I haven't seen the show at all, and I know that I've heard a lot of chatter that the some of the like season 2 and in particular 3 don't really work so well.
Yeah, they're not cohesive at all.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this. After doing research on this, I couldn't find a lick of anybody writing or doing a video on this that wasn't like they were all from like when the show debuted. And so they were all like comparing it, and they were all saying how great that first season of that show is, man.
It is.
And you guys know I missed out on it, so I'm looking forward to like checking it out and making my own judgment on it. But
see, once I watched season 2, like when it came out, like episode to episode, and it was kind of, and it was just like it didn't.
It's
like,
not the same as the first.
It wasn't the same, but then when I went back and rewatched like 3 to 4 episodes at a time, when I was like editing photos or just working on something, and when I watched like 3 to 4 episodes, like it was a lot better. So, and then like I did the same with season 3 because I watched half of season 3, and then I just got off HBO. So when I finished it, I was just like, man, I enjoyed season 2 and 3. I thought they were great.
Suns are up by 4 at the half, everybody, just so you know.
Yay.
I mean, I like where it's going, Mike. I mean, I agree. I like where it's like what it has led to. I want to see that, but it's just how they got there.
The cast is great. I'll give them that.
The cast is great.
Cast is
Tandy Newton's heart, man. I love every character in this.
I immediately get impressed with any show that's got both Ed Harris and Anthony Hopkins and Jeffrey Wright in it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So like, anyway, I haven't seen the show, so I don't want to keep talking about it.
I'm not make references to the show, to the movie. I don't want to spoil anything for the show because I want Robbie to go in it and enjoy it. And I was really excited when they announced the show because I put this original film, not so much Future World or Beyond Westworld, but I put the original Westworld on like this pedestal because it terrorized me so much as a fucking kid. So when they announced the show, I was so excited, and I talked to so many people who just didn't know anything about Westworld. I'm like, how do you not know this movie?
I know about it.
That's how I would feel if they announced a TV series based on Superman 3.
Well, I got a surprise for you. Would you be surprised if DC
62 lefty 62 no. Well, they're doing the Superman 78 book and the Batman 89 books, and I'm very excited for those actually.
I am too, but I'm a Keaton fan and a Reeves fan.
Well, I know, so we already got you signed up for Batman 89, you know that, brother. But the Superman 78 is going to delve immediately into like Brainiac, and I'm like, yes, that's the next like it's so obvious to me. Like somebody needs to call the PCP crew Excitable We Are when they want to make some superhero universes, because it's so obvious to me and everybody else here on the panel that you do Luthor and then you do Brainiac.
You leave Brainiac.
Yes.
It's
like
no,
you don't follow up. All right, here's the thing. You can follow up Luthor with Zod. That's fine.
Yeah.
But you don't follow up that with nobody. A rich guy. But whatever. You follow it up with Richard Pryor. I get that that seems like it would be an ascension but it didn't turn out to be. Anyway,
Should've been
I want to
better.
know, raise your hand if you watched Loki, episode 1.
Damn it.
Yeah,
Damn it, John.
I want to watch it. I mean, it looks good. I
Really,
love
John?
it.
Well,
We
John's
can
not
never
really
talk about anything.
John's not really a Marvel guy, right?
Well,
Yeah, you're more DC.
I like Marvel. I'm more of a DC guy, but I don't dislike Marvel. I've been watching all the shows that are on Disney. I've seen
So
all the
you
films.
plan on watching Loki.
Oh, definitely plan. I love Owen
Okay.
Wilson.
Check this out, y'all. In a non-spoilery way, let's talk about it real quick.
I don't care if you spoil.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil anything, actually.
We're not
Some
spoiling
people
it.
haven't
You gotta
watched it.
watch
There's not
this.
really a whole lot to spoil.
There's not, but here's my
Not
thing.
really.
I'm okay.
I'll start. I obviously will talk a lot more about this Sunday night with the launch of the new segment, Talking Low Key on Low Key. So I'm very excited for that, but I loved it. I thought it was the best first episode of a Disney Plus
Yep.
Marvel show yet.
I
The
agree.
best first episode, I say,
Mhm.
because
First.
it will instantaneously get MCU fans hooked back in, and then they do some great character work. Owen Wilson is amazing. The TVA, it works. And yes, we're getting this meme now because we have the Tennessee River here, and the power company's the Tennessee Valley Authority, so it's the TVA.
That's exactly what I always thought when
All
they
these-
said TVA.
I know, right? The first time I saw the TVA was in the Walt Simonson Fantastic Four run. But it's the Time Variance Authority. Loki is obviously, since he grabbed the Tesseract at the end of, or what was it, Avengers Endgame when he grabbed it, right?
Oh,
So,
oh, yeah.
yeah, they're after him and blah, blah, blah. It was so great. It gave me vibes of Brazil, right? The Terry Gilliam film, which is my
Oh, nice.
favorite Terry
Oh,
Gilliam film.
yeah.
Gave me
yeah.
a little bit of
It does
Brazil
have
vibe.
that vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked it, and I thought it was very strong character work. So, Jelani, what did you think about it in non-spoilery way?
Man, oh my gosh. I encourage everyone to watch it. If you're an MCU fan, this is where it's all been leading to. I think this is what they're doing, and I think Hawkeye is the next one after this. But it's setting up like the way Loki can go, because this is a Loki out. This is a variant Loki. So because of that, we can go to any story we want with this Loki. And we find out that they're probably, maybe, whatever. And I can't be spoilery, but it's so
I don't want
good.
to talk about that, but we know what
It's
that's
so
gonna be.
good. And I love how you get to that point with the entire MCU, how cohesive their stories have been. You know what I'm saying? What was it, 22 plus film, or how many films has it been now? Oh God, it's so many.
There's been 4,000 Marvel films.
It's so many films. You got so much continuity, and it's a comic book in movie form. And how they've done this, and Loki is just, it's beautiful.
I remember
I was ready to watch it.
about a year and a half, Robbie said to me, if they put Luke Wilson or Owen Wilson in the MCU, it'll make the MCU that much better and change the MCU forever. And I said, that's a weird thing to say, Robbie. Luke Wilson or Owen Wilson.
I think you're doing a bit, but that does sound like something I would have said back then.
Who doesn't love
Eventually,
Wilson?
every actor is going to get pulled into the Marvel Cinematic Universe somehow.
Where's Jason Schwartzman? Let's bring him in.
And
you
Adrian
guys-
Brody.
Yes, let's do it. Where's Bill Murray?
Yeah, Bill
Everybody
Murray.
that's ever been in a Wes Anderson film.
Yes.
Let's bring him in. All right. What about you, Mike? What'd you think of Loki in a non-spoilery way?
I thought
And
it was fun.
Brooks, by the way, just start thinking about this. When we get to you, we do mean non-spoilery. Okay, bro? All right. Mike?
I thought it was fun, like especially the little chase that they do. It's not really a spoiler, but I thought that was very fun. I did like that. Some of the things that the one thing with the airplane I thought was great.
Yeah, I agree. I said it out loud, by the way.
I was just
Said
like,
it out loud. I was like, what?
did I hear that correctly? But yeah, I thought all the actors did a great job. I'm interested to see where it goes and what direction it is, and who the big bad is going to be.
Well, we know who the big bad's about to be, and I'm very excited for that. And I got a lot of thoughts about that. So tune in Sunday night, Rockin' Robbie Live, when we start our very first episode of Talking Low-Key on Loki. And I'm very excited for that. Dank Comics says, doing a review soon. Loki is definitely the best MCU show yet. I would say it's the best first episode yet, but we obviously can't judge it yet. So far, like, I think WandaVision is going to be hard to beat. But this one did a lot
This is a
of
good first episode, though.
a
This
lot
is the
of
best of the three.
it did a lot of world building, concept work, and character work all in the first episode.
Yep. All the heavy exposition, I believe, is in the first episode, just to get you into what we're doing now.
Remember, the PCP Bad Batch Missing Link says Loki is Marvel's most ambitious show yet. Yep. Ooh,
I agree.
There you go. Brooks, what you think about Loki?
I liked it. You know, Tom Hiddleston just slips right back into the role, you know. And I like that, you know, he's still like villain Loki, you know. He hasn't had his redemption arc.
Right from his ass
replacement thing.
Yeah.
So like through a lot of it, he's like he's not the Loki we've come to know, but he's the Loki from like the first Avengers or like the first Thor. You know, he's still kind of an asshole.
Yeah, he's the Loki from the end of Avengers #1.
Right the end.
And this is a slight spoiler, and I know I said no spoilers, but he does. I love the bit where he gets to see his redemption.
I was hoping like he'd get that.
Yeah.
I knew he would. I knew he'd get to that point because I was like, they're going to have to explain it. I hope they explain it in the. If they don't explain in this one, they should have explained it in the next one at least. So they did a great job with what they did.
The people that got to do early reviews, which for some reason PCP Army's not, you know, the Excitable PCP crew is not part of that yet. What do we got to do to get that? Like, we got to figure it out. We got to figure it out. Yeah, we got to figure this out. Maybe we actually need to review them by episode.
Guys, help us find this out too.
I don't know. But anyway, I'll tell you this. The people that have reviewed it early, they have seen the first 2 episodes, right? And they say that 1 was a perfect setup for the shit that happens in 2. And I'm very damned excited about it. Y'all see the He-Man trailer?
Yeah.
I
did.
For the Kevin Smith one?
Yeah. Did you watch it? Did you watch it, Brooks? Oh.
No, I didn't know it was out yet.
Yeah, see that.
All right. Well, skipping Brooks then. Mike, I know you're a Motu guy, like everybody else here. What did you think about the trailer?
I thought it was great. It's a nice little. It looks like a continuation almost of the original series, if I had to say.
Yeah.
So I thought it was great. The Skeletor's all like, just bring out your champion, and then you get to see a lot more of the sorceress doing sorceress things. I loved when Man at Arms just punched Trapjaw right in the face.
Yeah.
So.
I love how they spotlight all the characters. That's a really cool thing about this little teaser.
Did he?
Scare glows up in that bitch, man. Y'all see that?
Yeah.
Ooh. And Clamp
Also,
Champ.
Yeah, that was nice to see him. I can't believe they destroyed the land shark.
Yeah.
No shit.
That was the beginning. Yeah.
And how many Rotons do I have to buy? Holy crap.
I know. I've never seen that many.
I didn't realize there was like a fleet of them.
I think we got 3 or 2.
Well, I just want the 1, maybe 2. Anyway, Jelani, what do you think about the trailer?
I love it, man. I can't believe Masters of the Universe is coming back in such a style. Like, I hope that the what we see in this trailer actually pans out. You know what I'm saying? And the way it's Kevin Smith, so I'm not really that afraid. It's gonna be told well. I think it's gonna. I think it might be better. No, I can't say it's better than She-Ra because She-Ra's pretty good. I like She-Ra a lot.
It's definitely a different direction. You know what I'm saying?
It's a different direction to go with the character. I get it, but I like the art. I was surprised at that. The toys, I don't know yet. We'll talk about that. I think I may want Battle Cat more than anything. But
fuck the toys. I mean, only vintage.
Anyway, I like the Origins figures. They're the greatest. They are the best representation.
I'll do Origins if they're placeholders.
That's a shame.
Well,
but it's a good trailer. It's a good way to start.
This was way cheaper than a vintage Scare Glow.
I couldn't find an Origins one. Where'd you get the Origins one?
Bruh, you know who I am? I know Mike.
Okay, well, I'm looking for Origins. I'm looking for Scary Movie 2, the Origins one.
See,
I got
see,
it. I have it ordered.
see.
I have it ordered.
We've been talking about this for days.
That came in the secondary market, so that's why Robbie was able to get his so early.
Okay, well, I want one. You guys all make a note of that.
Me too. We give you a hard time, Mike. It's all good.
John, what do you think of the trailer?
I think it was awesome. There's 2 shows come out. So this one that's Kevin Smith's working on, and then one with a different style that's geared towards kids.
Yeah.
That's got a. I mean, I'm not digging that one, but that's 2 different audiences. Kevin Smith said this is for fans of the original. He said he's going after people in their 40s. He's not going after little kids. He's not an introduction to the characters. There's going to be a lot of tongue-in-cheek references. There's going to be a lot of throwback stuff. There's going to be a lot of fan
Service.
Yeah, there's going to be what now? There's going to be a lot of him playing to the fan base and having these characters we love, and I'm happy that he's on board because you can tell he's passionate about the original property, and he's going after
Voltron is perfect.
People like me. Yeah, he's not going after that other audience, and I think that's cool. Yeah, I'm not totally sold on the figure line that goes with the show.
Yeah.
And then the animation was just too smooth after watching the show recently and then watching this. I'm like, oh, this animation's too good.
Yeah.
Does not go with He-Man. I think it's awesome. And I'm happy that we're getting, I mean, that's cool. I mean, again, as much as I'm paying that new style, the other one, I understand that they're going after kids, 10-year-old kids that never heard of Master Universe. So I'm happy we're getting this one targeted towards adults who grew up with Master Universe. So it's cool they're catering to both audiences, and I'm happy Kevin Smith's involved, man. It seems like he's really passionate about it.
I'm very excited for it. And Station Jamie, welcome. Because 37
In a row.
what I like
It's a
about
Disney
it is,
attraction.
we have seen He-Man be redone in animation, right?
Yeah.
Where they did that early 2000 show, right? So we got to see the He-Man story be done with better animation. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys, I am a huge Motu fan. Y'all know that, but I do not think they're the best toys ever, and I do not think that it's the best cartoon ever.
I agree both.
The toys are cheap, right? Okay. But it does have the best play set ever of all time. Okay. Let's just be honest about that.
Castle Grayskull.
Yeah. For real. In fact, when I was a kid, I liked Snake Mountain more. That was only because I actually had Snake Mountain. I didn't have Grayskull. Now that I have both, it's totally Grayskull. It's totally Grayskull. Especially once you get Point Dread and the Talon Fighter, bro, it's totally fucking... Snake Mountain's actually a disappointment when you look at it in hindsight. It's an exterior playset, not an interior one, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, I freaking love that they're doing a show with updated animation that looks amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. And the toys look great too. I'm just not going to allow myself, I'm focusing on the vintage just to build up that line. Right. But I think the toys look fine. So I think this is going to be cool and it's going to be really neat. And I just love that they're going back to that original story.
Yeah.
They're doing a follow-up. They know what they're doing. In the trailer, they use the song, I need a hero. Come on, man. It is so on point with what it's trying to do. It's people now realize, and it took something like Cobra Kai to be we can produce certain things cheaply for fucking 40-year-olds right now. And that's what they're doing. Because we're all at that level right now, but that's our shit. That's our line, and just wait 10 years from now, they'll be doing fucking Power Rangers again. Who knows? But Brooks, you definitely need to check out the trailer. I think it looks...
Yeah, I probably will immediately after we're done here.
Yes. It's it's the tiniest teaser. Nothing gets revealed about story or nothing, but they spotlight everybody. You see Orko, and Orko looks badass.
He does look badass. He has better spells than
I also
Orko
love
from
the
the
Orko
show.
origins, by the way. I also need an Orko. You guys see him?
I have an Orko. Do you want an Orko? I have an
You got an
Orko
extra
for you.
Origins Orko?
from you.
I have an
Yeah.
Origins Orko for you.
I think
if
we
you
just
want
got
it.
a loose one at the store. I have to check with Mike though.
And I have a loose one, and I have them coming in.
Okay.
Also,
Oh, cool.
they should be here in July. So,
There's a lot I need. I got some for Christmas, and then I end up picking up some from Walmart, super cheap, because they're like nobody wants Tila and Evil Lynn, so they clearanced her out. I'm like, what? And now they're up. The price is back up, so I picked up a couple. So I have like Series 1, but I don't have anything past that because all the stores I visited, nobody has past Series 1. And then online, the places that had Series 2 and past that, because I know there's more out, are sold out. And it's
They're
just
harder to get.
I want to tell you this, Hammertime, and this may be news to you, but if you want anything toy-wise, if you're looking for it, the one person in the PCP crew, Excitable We Are, that you need to talk to is Mike the Voice Matthews.
Yeah, how do I point?
He has gotten me every Origin so far, other than the ones I haven't found.
I don't
myself.
need all of them.
Origins.
I just want the ones that I missed out as a kid, or the ones that I had that
You're
I
getting all of those back.
I'm sure I'm speaking for Mike here, but just let him know what you're looking for, and he will do what he can to make sure you get it.
took the words right out of my mouth.
He makes sense when he talks.
Yeah, like I'll tell.
Mike's
like,
the toy guy. That's why Mike's going to be on the Tomorrow show on Wednesday night, bro. You want to talk about that? Why don't you plug that?
Really?
Tomorrow Cinema. He's doing his new. What's his? He does the weekend. What is his week? Comics is 1 week, then movies is next, and then the third is going to be toys.
Yeah, toys and collectibles. Yeah.
So we're going to talk about toys and collectibles, and it's also kind of show off all the different things that we have from our collection. See who's got the best toys. You know, that kind of game.
Really?
Very strong show and tell. So
I'll
that'll be
speak up
fun.
for you, Jelani, and see if I can get you involved. The problem is you're not on Instagram. That's where all this stuff happens. It's
But also, I think this show
Fucking
starts at what,
Instagram.
7?
yeah,
The show starts at 7.
7:30. I
so
think
Jelani-
7:30.
Yeah.
I always
don't
pop
do
in late
outside
though
of
because
that.
I do the top 10 video with Jim. We film that at 7 my time, so I just usually pop in towards the end.
So, no, I mean, it's going to be fun. I get to ridge stretch with you on somebody else's channel for once.
Well, I'll see if I can show up. I don't know if I will be able to make it this week. I want to because it's their first, it's Manny's
Yeah,
first
the
toy run.
inaugural.
Yeah. So I was there for the first film and TV one. That was great. We talked about our
And the-
favorite trilogies, and y'all know I had to represent Bill and Ted as my
Yeah.
favorite trilogy. And there we talked about a lot of good ones though. Evil Dead, Evil Dead's a great
The
one. We
Matrix.
talked about that one
It
too.
is
The
a great
LOTR, man.
I mentioned that at the very end.
Lots
'cause
of
we
Back
did-
to the Future.
But I literally was talking with Jamie about that last night, about how Lord of the Rings is one of the most monumental film achievements in my lifetime.
It actually changed movies.
Dude,
It
and
did.
The way
It
movies
made them
were made.
perform.
it will
Yeah.
never be dated.
Mm-mm. You could
It will
watch
never be
now.
dated because
But it's not as big or as influential as the RoboCop trilogy.
well, Steph is the one that mentioned RoboCop as his favorite trilogy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I would
There's
say
no-
the
There's
third
nothing
one,
wrong with that.
so many problems with the third one, but the first two are so fucking awesome.
Yeah, no shit. There's awesomeness in the third one too. And I explained the problem, the idea that Fred Decker signed and Frank Miller signed on for an R-rated film, and then the studio changed it.
Yeah.
And there you
And
go.
then not having Peter Weller is a big,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a big Yep.
Peter Weller abandons you.
The same thing that happened with Darkman.
Oh, yeah.
You lose Liam Neeson, and you give us the pseudo Boris Karloff, and we just don't like it as much.
It's
Wasn't he
true.
also the Mummy?
He's the Mummy too.
That's what I meant. Pseudo Boris Karloff. Get it? It was kind of like I didn't want to be so on the nose with it. I was trying to be a little bit more like subtle and clever.
really.
And Mike ruined it. Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome. Glad I could help.
Make it up for us by getting me an Orko. And a scary
Come to the shop at 10
Do you don't want a
o'clock.
clamp champ? Dude, we have clamp champs right now, don't we?
Clamp champ.
We have clamp
We've
champs
got-
right now.
We got 2 that I know of.
Yeah.
From the Origin series?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mike
New
discovered
or
something.
somebody sold them to. They're out of package.
They're new in package.
New
Yeah,
package.
brand new.
Dude, and Mike discovered something. You take the clamp champ and you take all of his shit off and you put He-Man shit on. And that is we've seen the Samuel L. Jackson He-Man figure, that's
Oh,
cool.
yeah. Yeah.
But dude, that like Clamp Champ is
It
He-Man.
looks
That
so
shit
awesome.
was that looked better than
Yeah.
He-Man.
It looks better than He-Man.
Oh, that
Look
was
at
pretty
him.
awesome,
Sam
right?
He's
Jackson,
even
Hold on, let me
pushing it.
show
I was
that.
like,
White man
Look at
knows,
that.
man.
Look how
I
good
gotta
that
get
looks.
I gotta get another He-Man because of that. Oh my
Yeah,
yeah.
They
look at
were
he's
all
cheap.
over. They were all over
Yeah.
Walmart. We went to
Forever.
Walmart. They were all over.
Well, it's that's what Mattel's trying
He-Man?
to revert their curse for Mattel.
My Walmart is just He-Man
They put all the-
Skeletor and nothing else.
All
there's
the
a
core
thousand of them.
characters, they fill them. Yeah, they
Dude,
fill
it's-
it up with He-Man's Skeletor,
The
Teela.
color highlights on He-Man's gear
Yep.
works so well with the color of like Clamp Champ's loincloth and his like
Everything.
armbands and all that.
Here's what He-Man looks like in Clamp Champ's gear.
Which actually looks pretty cool too.
That does look cool.
It's the
So-
blue.
I
It's
don't
the
get
blue
two, one of
black
extra each
It's-
and rotate the
it's-
part. Yeah.
It's more
Yeah.
obvious to me that he's not wearing pants though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's fully clothed at the top. And yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, so now I want to buy one of those He-Man, and now
Yeah.
I'm like, do I need a second Clamp Champ? But Clamp Champ comes with 2 heads,
Yeah,
so you're good, right? So there you go.
he's awesome.
What about Motu Funkos? I only have one. I have to draw a line, and I'm just vintage when it comes to He-Man, when it comes to Motu. But I do have one Funko, and
Is
it's
it
from my favorite character in the entire franchise, He-Man, She-Ra, whatever, New Adventures, whatever you want to, all of He-Man. My favorite character is Hordak, and I have a Hordak pop, and that was a gift from Mike the Voice Matthews. So.
Hordak
Right.
is awesome.
He is awesome.
But
He's
they've done some
Skeletor's
great
boss.
ones. But they
Yeah.
do too many exclusives. So if you want to collect all the Motu like pops,
Yeah, fuck that.
fuck that. You're like, it's not going to happen. There was that Scare Glow Mike got, and he sold it at the shop. It was like so expensive, but it was amazing. $300. Jesus.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
For
You can do a
a
lot
Yeah,
of
but-
$300.
Yeah, but it went to I do that charity Funkos for Kiddos with St. Jude here in town, and
Nice.
I sold that, and $290 of that dollars went to new
Nice.
pops for those kids.
$300
So,
is a third of what it takes to go to a Western theme park with robot prostitutes.
Yeah, and it's
Sex
lot of
like,
workers, John. Sex
True.
workers.
and it's
I'm
like up
sorry,
here,
next place of the night.
like up here, like the pops that are up here and back here. Like I'll sell those this year. I'll sell those this year and buy pot and use the proceeds to buy whatever I get off of it. I'll use that to buy more pops for the kids for St. Jude's.
All right.
So
That's really very honorable of you, Mike, and I love that you do that. Mike literally does that every year. Funkos for Kiddos. We'll share the link. We'll go hardcore this year with PCP and make sure
Yeah.
everybody can donate. You can just donate cash, and Mike turns that cash into pops, and he gives them out to these kids, and they love them, right, Mike?
yes, they do. This is will be the 5th year that I've done it. So it was the 1 year after 6 year cancer free. So 5th year of doing it.
Woo!
Hey,
Thanks,
so-
brother.
Funko Pops, or are you giving these kids corn pop cereal?
Funko
Dude.
Pops.
They took peanut butter corn pops off the fucking shelves. What's wrong with that? What's wrong?
That
Cereal
makes money
companies,
for Spider, whatever. What was that cereal?
Simply Spiders.
Spiders.
Mike, you do good work with that, man. I really appreciate you and everything you do for that. That being said, Motu Origins for me are their placeholder figures. Clam Champ, Scare Glow. These are figures that are very expensive to get vintagely. So vintagely? Is that a new word? So they're hard to get. They're very expensive to get complete. And so you can have placeholders in your collection, kind of like having a reprint. Like I have an early reprint of Fantastic Four #1. The one that came with the record or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like things like that are placeholders until you can get it. And John mentioned that he wants the ones that he never got to get as a kid and things like that. And
Yeah.
it's this nostalgia factor. What's the one Origins Motu figure you want to happen? It's got to happen for you. John?
Stinkor. And I know they're doing it, aren't they?
They're
Didn't
making
they
a
announce it?
Stinkor. They're making a Stinkor.
So Stinkor, and it's got to smell. And I remember interviews, them talking about how bad the factory smelled. And Robbie said he's got one. I think it still smells, right, Robbie?
Yeah, it does still smell. And John, I think Mike said he boiled it reactivate the smell.
Yeah, what I
Wow.
would when you
You
check,
also took
you
a
have
shit in
to.
the pot.
Well, no, you have to get to do the leg replacements. You have to boil the legs to pop out the old joint and put in the new one. And when you did that, like the stink just reactivated everywhere
Oh wow.
on the figure. So it was just one of those like, oh, that's cool. Like, so my kitchen, you
Are the
know,
new ones going to be stinky? Did they already say they will? It's not just color, right?
No,
I'm
it's
not.
just,
I'm sure it is.
gotta be
I haven't
It's
seen it
got
yet.
to be stinky, man. Mine's still
It's gotta
stinky.
be
Hold
stinky.
on. I'm gonna go verify this. Y'all keep going.
You go smell it.
Word.
And so
Let's
that's what I want. I really want Stinkor. I wanted, obviously, He-Man and Skeletor were going to get Orko, even though I knew we were going to get Orko. I wanted Orko.
Yeah.
I wanted She-Ra, although I was kind of disappointed with her plastic hair. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have
Well, they have a con exclusive.
yeah, I was
That
gonna
is
say,
like that real hair. The
Yeah.
kind of real hair.
and then the only ones I really wanted were Stinkor, and there was one other one, Merman, but he's already out. I don't have him, but he's out. And then I saw he was originally called in the documentary, like it was originally called Seaman, but we changed it. Like
Yeah.
Vision.
See, man.
So Merman, which I know Stinkor is just a repaint of Merman, but I wanted Stinkor, and that was it. And hopefully, you know, I don't know. There's none other that really stand out that I have to. I'm sure some will pop up and like, oh, I forgot about this character or this character. But so far, I keep looking at them, and they're all coming out. You know, the ones I can think of, I know I've seen. Like Scareglow was already out, even though he's hard to get. So there's already like Orko's probably not hard to get, but I haven't been able to find them. So far they've been coming out. And I think Stinkor was announced. I hope he smells. But beyond that, I don't really buy figures. I got those first couple as Christmas gifts, and the other ones I got super cheap. And what's going to happen is I'm going to start buying additional ones. I'm like, I want this one and this one. And Robbie's like, I want the old school. But for me, I have my old school ones that I still have. I'm missing one, but I recovered some of them from my parents' house, and I have them. And I don't want the ones missing because I'm like, that's some kid play with them. These ones that I have, the old ones I have are special to me because they were mine. You know what I'm saying? And I'd rather have Origins if I'm going to get new ones. And because especially, like Robbie said, some are very rare and very expensive. Some are not so expensive, the figure, but any of the accessories, like, oh, good luck finding the Mosquito Guy's guns. You know what I'm saying? Some of those stuff is fucking...
I need a Mosquito gun, actually. I have a Mosquito,
cool.
but I need a gun.
Oh,
Dude.
Did they announce Buzz Off? Because Buzz Off was one of my favorites.
The smell is gone. Right? The smell's not there.
Buzz Off, is he out or is he coming out?
They made a Super 7 of him, but they haven't.
Yeah, but is he in the Origins line?
That was actually going to be my pick. I want a Buzz Off, and I want a Buzz Off.
Well, you
no. I want the Buzz Off with the wings, like
I
put the wide wings.
I put the commemorative series Buzz Off in your box.
Yeah, no, I want that one, but I also
want Origins.
I want an Origins Buzz Off.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to do it. That's one of those.
Y'all need to get a vintage Buzz Off. It's great. I have one. This doesn't smell anymore.
Just go put it. Take off the armor and then go take off the armor and then boil some water and just drop it in there.
I just feel bad boiling my. I can't do that.
You just
I want it to
Nothing
smell,
happens
though.
with water. Nothing.
Just get it to
water is
warm water.
the safest. You put it in warm water, it's safe. You don't put it in boiling alcohol or something crazy.
Robbie, I use warm water to bathe. Think about that.
It's fine, man.
It's not boiling water though.
And it'll
you don't have
reactivate
to
the
boil.
plastic.
It has to be. It has to
use
be.
boiling
It just
water.
has to be.
Wait, okay, hold on a second. Hold on. Are they doing a new one of these
water.
that smells?
Yeah.
Well, we don't know.
Possibly.
There's a new one, but no one's confirmed the smelliness.
If it smells, I want it because if I just had a piece of paper that smelled like it, I could just do this and get what I wanted to. I want a good sniff of Stinkor. It's gone. I'm so devastated right now.
Ariel left you with Stinkor in her litter.
But your nose is just not as good.
Maybe y'all need to come check it out.
Lick them. Try licking them. Does he taste bad?
I don't think you.
Oh,
It doesn't taste like anything.
Like they put on like cartridges for the Switch now to keep kids from eating them.
Bitter thing, yeah. I haven't licked any of my Switch games, so I don't know. It's supposed to be true, but I haven't tried it.
All right. Did we continue on with what Origins figure we wanted?
Oh, I kind of
Mike's
took the
turn.
lanes and brought up Buzz Off, and I think that's what you wanted, right, Jelani?
Yeah, I wanted Buzz Off, but I mean, I'll pick a second one. It'll be like if it's cool. I want Moss Man.
Oh, is he actually
Mothman
Moss?
is-
No, I'm afraid they're going to
he's a-
cheap out. Like, he's just green. Like, you motherfuckers.
He'll be like Beast Man, and they'll flock him.
No, they'll do an exclusive flocked version.
Oh, that's what they will. It'll be like
It'll be some shit
San
like that.
Diego Comic-Con exclusive or some
Walmart.
shit.
Me and Mike went to Walmart, by the way, and just found a flocked Panther.
Really?
Just
Really?
sitting there.
Like,
The box was damaged.
He didn't buy it though.
Should have bought.
Which
You
Walmart?
should have bought that shit.
Afterwards.
The box was damaged.
Okay. Some I'm going to leave in box, and some I'm going to probably display out of box.
How
I
damaged
don't-
was it? Like crushed.
No, it's not that bad, but like, I don't
I don't want to open.
need it. Like,
Oh,
if I was gonna, like, I'd buy original Panther if I was gonna get something.
The original Black Panther, they all look like ones I've seen. If they look like crap.
It takes a
Well, come look at the one that I got at the Deep tomorrow
Played
when you
on.
come to buy your Orco, and you can look at it. It's pretty decent.
The vintage one is better because it doesn't have that weird, like they
Yeah,
have that weird arm bend and battle.
Yeah, you don't need the
Panther.
arm bends in them. I agree. That's something I wish they wouldn't have changed.
What about you, Mike? Which one would you like to see?
I mean, there's a Man-E-Face is already coming.
Yeah.
Isn't he already out?
Yeah.
He's
I've
wave
got
2.
many faces.
He was wave 2 or wave 3.
I think he looks so stupid compared.
Yeah,
He's too bright.
He was one of my
too
first
bright.
ones, man. I love
too
his
bright.
figure.
He's too. Well, it's kind of like I guess Mecha Neck might be the next one.
Oh, that'd
I'd
be
want.
cool. I'd like Mecha Neck.
So, but yeah,
Y'all are thinking so obvious. Y'all are thinking of ones that they're going to do for sure. You know.
But yeah, like the New Day figure
Yeah.
is very similar to but
So
there's
many
the original. So it's not as like this is a lot wider and easier because he's kind of just really wide at the top and slender in the bottom.
And yeah, and look at the
So-
colors on the vintage one, you know, and
Yeah.
the new one is very bright and slender. It's just I don't know.
Yeah.
And
But it still has
the faces
has
the faces don't have as much detail to me.
Oh, really? I haven't seen him in person yet. I knew he was out. But I haven't
Hold
seen
on,
him.
I've got
No,
mine.
I am
Sit tight.
biased.
Hold on.
I am biased because I really don't like a lot of the Origins redos.
But you like some of them.
I like Clamp Champ, Ninjor, and Scareglow. I think the Man at Arms looks fine. Evil Lyn and Tila look badass.
I guess
actually.
maybe a Rio Blast. I don't know. Let me go to He-Man.org and
Oh,
look.
Rio Blast
Oh,
would be
yeah,
good.
I think he's coming back. That was one that was
Oh,
one
that's
that was
the
a
Origins.
Christmas gift, and I never
And
had
he
it.
is kinda
Well, there's the
bright.
Origins. Yeah, you
This
see,
is
he's
the
so
Origins
bright.
version. He is
Oh,
very bright.
Jesus.
And it's like his heads are cool. I mean, it's all right, but you're right about the depth. It's like it's cartoon colors. I don't know. It looks weird. It is a little bright for all three heads. So
It's a little bright, but it's all right. I mean, Rio Blast is a good one too, Mike. And
that'd be cool.
there's some good ones, you know. And it's like go to the later series too, and that's what they did. Like they did Clamp Champ, they did Ninjor, they did those
Oh,
because they
man.
know those are hard to find.
How cool was it in the He-Man trailer to see the Bashosaurus?
Yes, get fucked too. Why are they destroying all
Yeah.
these villains? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they killed the land shark, they killed the fucking Blastosaurus. Jesus. It was dope. I'm
I
so
wanna
pumped.
point out that
Faker might be the only it's
Oh,
coming.
yeah.
Like
I don't have a
That'd be
faker.
cool. I have.
I gotta get your
It's gotta
original.
have a sticker.
for He-Man.
It's got to have a sticker.
You get a
who's the guy
Reaper
that plays the
sticker.
Mandalorian? What's that actor's name?
Who?
The guy that plays Mandalorian.
Pedro
Oh,
Pascal
Pedro-
or whatever.
Yeah. In the second Kingsman, where he's like the pistol guy,
Mhm.
he looks like the Rio guy
Real
from
Blast.
Real Blast.
He's got the mustache and he's got the guns. He's got the same colors. He looks so much. That's all I could think the whole fucking time. Like, he needs to be in the Master Universe movie.
Nice. What about you, Brooks? Which one would you like to see coming up?
My first choice would be Ratlore.
Oh,
That'd be
okay.
cool.
Or any of them from
I'm
that.
glad you brought up the
Leechman's
snake.
another one I would like to see too.
Leechor?
Yeah, the green guy that has the suction cup.
Yeah. Leech.
head
Yeah.
and
Leech.
mouth.
Leech.
Leech.
Yeah.
Leech.
Leech is a great figure. You can get that pretty cheap. I'm sure we can find you a vintage. I hope the new one has.
I know you like the vintage stuff, and
but
I do kind of like the vintage, but I like the new ones
They're more
better
articulate.
because they're more posable.
Yeah,
That's true.
You know, they're more.
But here's
you
the
can
thing.
do more with them. Like whereas the originals are very like they weren't made for display. They were made for play.
I got you. There are ways to make them more appropriate for display, but all they do is
There's like a display for like original ones are just like you just set them up
no shit
on a
right?
table standing.
right.
Would you want the Leech figure to have the suction cup action?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
of course.
Because not only did he have, he even had this, he has this button on his back to help like the suction or something.
Yeah.
And like, that's how you
I think
release
you have
it.
to like lick the suction cups to get them to stick.
Yeah. Like when I got my vintage Leech, I was like, because I had one originally and who knows what happened to that. My Grizzler, I remember, got gum in it. Right. But like,
Oh,
well, I have most of the horde now, if not all of them. I think,
Horde Soldier would be a cool one too. Like
the, the horde henchman.
Brooks,
Yeah.
how many?
I've already
Troop
told
building.
Mike if they do the horde henchmen,
troop
I want
building.
I want
I like
5
two.
of them. I want
oh,
5. Of them.
5?
Yeah.
he
I want
wants
fucking
a-
5.
Get He-Man to like fight some, and She-Ra to fight some.
All right, since I got John and Brooks on here, before I put this order in, they are making this figure right here.
Yeah.
It's just the Eternia, the guard, to go along with Man at Arms. So, do you want? So my question is how many do you want?
I want 2.
I'm
Do
getting
you want 2 of those?
Yes.
Of the Eternian guard?
Do you want Eternia guard? Yeah, it's a.
I want 2 of them to put in
it's a
front
troop
of Castle
building.
Grayskull
The troop builder.
Yeah.
because it's a vintage style, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Origins figure done.
Yeah.
Because he's holding. If you look at it, he's holding the axe and the shield, or the staff. The staff and the shield you get from Castle Grayskull.
Castle Grayskull.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want 2. I
All
want
right.
2 so they can be the guards in front of Castle Grayskull, and I can recreate that scene when I play with them from Monty Python, where the knight's just running at them and they're just watching them. Y'all remember that bit? Anyway,
Yes.
I want 2. What about you guys?
I'd be fine with 1 personally. I'm gonna get them all if I can anyway. So like, I'm gonna need at least 1. I might
John,
consider buying a
John-
second one later on down the line.
Can I think about it and contact you after the show? Is that something I got to think about right now on the show?
Yeah,
Like,
John's got to like have
Yeah.
some time.
Process it, John. We're talking about Motu here.
All right, let's move on. My pick for what I want to be done, I have a couple. Brooks mentioned Rat Lure. It'd be cool to do Snake Men. If they did Snake Men, I need a snake face because that's a really expensive figure too.
oh, yeah.
So I want a snake face. I want a vintage one more than anything. Like I will always take a vintage, but because that's what I'm building right now. That's like my focus of my collection. That and other things too. But that's like I seem to be really honing in on that right now. And so, and out of Power Rangers. So I've been selling Power Rangers to get Motu and Transformers, but not vintage Transformers because I don't like vintage Transformers. They're tacky to me for the most part, except for Optimus. But I have a G2 Optimus, and that's good enough for me. Anyway, I'm rambling now. So King Randor would be one that I really want.
Oh, yeah.
Adora, that'd be a cool one.
That would be
Who?
I don't know if they ever did that.
Which
They
one?
did.
Adora, She-Ra's like
Oh yeah,
alter ego.
No, they didn't.
that
That
would
I
be
know
really cool, actually.
Yeah.
I would really like to see a sorceress done, like the proper sorceress, not connected to Grayskull, but that's a variant as well. Because that's a difficult one to find at times. But my number one is I want the fucking Wonder Bread He-Man.
Yeah.
I
We
want
can-
the
we can-
Wonder Bread
that would
He-Man.
make that. It would be
Well,
so.
we've got-
Man, they'll make
we've
2
got-
of them.
We got some of the stuff to make one.
All you got to do to make one is get the weapons pack and a Hordak vest, right? And
Yeah.
paint
Zodak.
the hair.
Exactly.
It's a
It
Zodak
would be
vest.
brown.
Yeah, Zodak.
Yeah.
I said Hordak. It's Zodak, yeah.
It is Wonder Man. Oh yeah, yeah.
But it's the black Zodak vest.
Yeah.
Which is in the
Yeah,
weapons
I
pack,
have-
right?
I have one of those.
Oh, nice.
It's
So
the
we have to find someone who can paint the hair exactly right, though.
Yeah, that would be.
the problem. The problem is that he comes with the loin, his belt, his boots, and the like. There's more than just his hair will have to be painted.
Yeah, it's all that. It's the loincloth and the boots and all that shit too.
And then finding these. This is what's going to suck too. Is finding those weapons. Those are the red weapons.
Skull? Oh, they are red.
No, they're red. They came with Manny faces.
Okay.
Later released Manny face, and that was the ones that they used for the Wonder Bread He-Man.
Well, some of those are repaints. Like the axe is easily foundable because that's part of the weapons rack, and that's Moss Man's fucking staff right there.
A different color.
How much is that figure?
The original Wonder Bread?
Yeah.
Dude, like most people even argue that this thing even existed.
Right.
Most people think all of these are fake.
This one sold for $1,600.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, do you know the story of the Wonder Bread He-Man?
I know that Wonder Bread released it, as far as I know.
So it was like this thing
like
appeared on eBay in the early days of eBay, right?
Mm-hmm.
This thing appeared. It was the Wonder Bread released He-Man, and it was allegedly tied into a Wonder Bread promotion. But nobody can find evidence of this. But it was a He-Man with those weapons and different colors and everything. He's got a name that they gave him in
Savage He-Man.
Savage He-Man.
They called him Savage He-Man. Or they call it, or some, and then Masters of the Universe Classics called him Wondar.
Wondar, that's right.
For Wonder Bread.
So they can't. Nobody can actually ever prove that this was a real promotion that existed. But some of these alleged vintage ones have sold. But a lot of people think that they are just fakes.
Like people painted these and made them. And
they all are from existing He-Man parts.
Right.
But it's definitely was Mattel's nature to reuse parts. That's all this is Merman.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And that's Breaking Neck's
Moss Man is Beast Man.
That's Mecha Neck's fucking chest plate right there.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And they're same arms as Skeletor, same feet as Skeletor, and everybody had the same groin, And what's the difference between Evil Lyn and Tila?
Skin color and
accessories.
Yep.
So there you go.
It's like all those knockoff, and like the thing is like all those knockoff Masters of the Universe that everybody has to have were just the ones that they made in Argentina. And they were made in like the late 80s, mid 2000s, something like that everybody flips out over. So it's very possible that during this time that's what happened.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's an interesting mystery. It's definitely go and check out the Wonder Bread Wondar He-Man videos they've done on YouTube. Tons of really great toy content out there. I think Toy Galaxy did a video on it. I think Ed's Retro Geek Out mentioned it. I'm sure Retro Blasting's done something. I'm sure fucking what's the other guy? Action here. What's the dude? The British guy. He does like motion.
Analog Toys.
Analog Toys. Yeah. Because what was G.I. Joe called over there? Action Force.
Action Force.
Yeah. Yeah. He's an Action Force guy. Those are some really great toy channels y'all need to check out if you haven't already. All right. Before we get back to toys with show and tell, which would be a great segue, but we haven't talked about food yet, and I really kind of feel proud about it, but I also feel like it's a bit. We kind of got to commit to it, so I want to know, what did you have for lunch? And we're going to start with Brooks.
My answer is bound to evoke a certain joke. I ate Wendy's.
No. If you're talking about Wendy's legitimately, I'm not going to fuck with you.
Oh, fuck you.
So there's a code now? There's a code of honor attached to the Wendy's?
Yeah, sure.
What'd you have? Dave's Double, fries, and Dr. Pepper.
The last few experiences I've had with Wendy's have sucked. So, but I want to have a good experience again because Wendy's has been joyful for me, my life. Good pick. What'd you have for your drink?
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper.
I always get Dr. Pepper. Well, sometimes I get like Sierra Mist or something like that.
Ooh, that's when you're feeling frisky.
I always get Dr. Pepper. Well, sometimes I get a Sierra.
Sonic, I usually get a root beer too.
Back real quick, Derek Brooks.
Yeah, nice. When he's at Sonic, he's like, it's a root beer kind of mood. What about you, Mike? What'd you have for lunch?
So, do you remember that picture I sent you a few weeks ago with the hamburger with the yogurt and the dill and the bell pepper?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so I did, and I was at the store with you the other day when I was buying that stuff. I added in the avocado into that mixture, so it's avocado ranch type dressing that I put on top of my burger with a bunch of jalapenos. So
nice.
Sorry I didn't send you a picture. It was just too nice to eat. So, but I did show you every time I grilled. So there's
weird
that.
stretch. Jelani, what'd you have for lunch?
I had Popeye's chicken. Good old fashioned Popeye's chicken, not the sandwich.
What'd you get?
I got a 2-piece and a biscuit and some red beans and rice.
Woo, nice.
Yeah, man.
You didn't get the
filling
3-piece.
I was gonna get the 3-piece, but I changed my mind. I was just gonna get it. I just,
That's probably a good
I'm trying to eat
decision.
less
Maybe
'cause
it's not.
like a lot of fried chicken. I can't have a lot of fried food. I'm like, I want this, so I got it, and it was fresh. It was good.
What 2 pieces did you get?
I got a final egg. I like the tiny ones.
If you get the 3-piece, you get breast, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you get 3-piece,
You get a breast with a breast. But it's all good. I was gonna get the 3-piece, but like I said, too much chicken. I just want enough chicken for my little break, and I liked it, and it was good.
Those biscuits are great, and you know what they say? Love that chicken from Popeyes. Hammertime Holshoe. What did you have for lunch?
I had a Crunchwrap Supreme from a French place called La Taco Bell.
Fancy.
Yeah, it was super fancy with a Diet Pepsi,
Nice.
and I got the meal, so it comes with a hard shell taco, and I put hot sauce on it. I didn't go Diablo or fire, but I'm working on it, man. I'm
We
stepping up.
just talked about you.
Baby steps.
You're not stepping up, bro.
I went
still
from
in hot.
mild to hot.
All right, that's
Fire
hot.
is next. Then I'm going to fire. I can't do Diablo.
He's doing better than J Strick.
Outside of Diablo.
Jay Strick can't handle spice
I think
either.
the fire
Jay
I've had
Strick uses
before, I think
Diablo.
it tastes like
Jay
thicker
Strick
version
uses,
of hot sauce.
hold on. Jay Strick uses Diablo every time. So do I, because I'll say
It's
this.
the best.
Their mild sauce is good. Their hot sauce is the best of those 3. Because fire sauce is not good, in my opinion.
No, it's not.
There's a beetle in here. That's crazy. It's like on the light. So,
Blue Beetle?
but Diablo is the best actual kind of almost hot sauce at one of those like drive-through
food.
fast restaurants. But like, I don't know, because like Zaxby's is drive-through and they
It's hot
have
as very good.
their insane sauce is pretty good, but you know, it's not for y'all. It'd probably be hot. For John,
It's
it'd be
habanero.
really hot. I trust you.
Yeah.
I would die.
Trust me.
You need some, what'd she say? Sour cream?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. The Fatal Friday. Yeah, I remember that.
I
All
was
right.
looking.
So for lunch today, here's a funny bit. It's not a bit. I actually had this for lunch today. I had a bologna sandwich with American cheese and mayo
Thank you. Thank you.
and
At least
Cool
for that.
Ranch Doritos.
Is that the sandwich?
Yeah.
It was like an old school sack lunch you take to school.
I know.
Yeah.
I had mustard on it. This is a whole bit because our 6th anniversary is coming up, and I don't like. Jelani posted something that's not. I don't know how this even started, but like,
This- Okay.
Mayo Miracle Whip.
I posted a meme for Pulp Fiction, and I think it said that you have to have or no, I can't remember the damn thing.
it was when they're
they
getting
put
coffee.
chips on a sandwich. Yeah, they're like, yeah, you put no, they were getting coffee, and they're looking at each other, and they're like, the best thing in the world is to put chips on a sandwich. And then it's like 8-year-old me is like, this is some serious gourmet shit.
Yeah, it's like 8-year-old me.
So
Put
it's
some
like,
chips on a sandwich. This is
So
some
it's that
serious
thing.
gourmet shit right here.
so one of the comments was Justin, and Goldsmith comes up
Smooth.
and he's like, well, this is my best sandwich. This is my favorite sandwich. You get a sandwich with a cut bologna, cheese, and Cool Ranch chips. And I was
Miracle
like,
Whip.
and Miracle Whip.
He
And
didn't
Miracle,
mention cheese, by the way.
oh yeah, no cheese.
Yeah, no
I
cheese.
want cheese. I want cheese. But he said that, and I was like, man, Miracle Whip is gross. It's the worst.
Yeah, not mayo. It was Miracle Whip.
Not Miracle Whip, which is
when I
like
was a kid, that's all we had, and then I had actual mayo, and it changed my fucking life.
That's my journey too. That's what I'm trying to say. So I came in and said I did a similar type sandwich, but I had mustard, Miracle Whip, bologna, cheese, and like white bread, right? And I didn't use white bread. I used this like oat nutty bread. It was really good, but it was like close to white bread for me, but it was nice. Had a lot of texture to it.
Where did your school go on your school field trip where you ate this sandwich? Where'd you guys go?
Space and Rocket Center.
Oh, okay.
No, that was a sandwich I had like in the summertime after swimming, you know?
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like when you were a kid, you would get like a bologna and cheese sandwich with some, and my household had Miracle Whip all the goddamn time. Everything
we ever had. I didn't know mayo was a fucking thing.
Right. And when I had mayo for the first time, I was like, this is what it's supposed to be like.
Yes.
So I get it. But Justin swears up and down that the Miracle Whip mixes with the Cool Ranch Doritos, because I use nacho cheese Doritos. But he said it mixes with the Cool Ranch Doritos and makes something very special. And we're going to celebrate our 6th anniversary, and that's going to be one of our taste tests. And allegedly, we've always wanted to do one of these gelatinous 50s, 60s savory dishes. And allegedly, Drew wants to make one. And I was like, bro, if you can make one and give everybody that wants to do it a slice, I'll do it, because I've been wanting to do this.
Oh, no, God.
With peas and carrots.
And he's, instead of tuna, he's going to use chicken, he said.
Yeah,
but Drew's going to find a way to make it good. Trust me. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah, I give him that.
Here's the thing. It sounds like it's gross, but I bet it works. But I don't know. I've had savory oatmeal.
All together, man. It's all in Jello.
I don't want to hear gelatinous attached to my food.
To food.
Yeah.
At all.
All right, y'all. All right, y'all.
How soft.
But yeah, I had a bologna sandwich and some Doritos for lunch today.
In my house, you eat whatever's put in front of you, whether it's gelatinous or not.
True.
All right.
And
Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad. All right, y'all. It's show and tell time. And since Mike is the toy master and he's going to be spotlighted on the Tomorrow Cinema Weekly Tomorrow Show this Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Mike, show and tell. Show us what you've got.
Don't show us your weird.
Funko did these vinyl figures back in the day. I don't know if I ever showed this off or not, but it's the Funko vinyl He-Man, and somewhere back here is
he looks mad.
He does. Somewhere back here is a Funko vinyl Trap Jaw. I'm trying to save everything for. Well, I mean, I did have some old stuff come in today that I might pick up, but I don't have them. But right here are I got a couple of Iron Man figures. I got the modular Iron Man suit and the stealth suit Iron Man from the new set.
Yeah.
By the way, this is show and tell.
Yeah, it's up there. See, I'm showing you. It's right there. See, there's the classic suit. AI Iron Man, and then there's
I can
Sentinel.
surely see that.
And then there's the modular, and then there's the stealth. It's all right there. Well, I got to get up and pull it
Enhance.
down. So I figured Jelani was going to show him off because
I am. Yeah. So I got a good.
All right, nice show and tell, Mike.
Well, then my main piece of show and tell was I picked this up. It's what I traded in my Dusty Rhodes for. So I'm a big Cowboy Bebop fan, so I got this nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Swordfish. It's all metal. It's all metal.
That's so clean. I've never seen that.
Yeah, we only got 2 of them in, and I asked if they were for anybody, and it's like nope. And I was like dibs. And then like the little.
That's so cool.
Little spike.
Who manufacturer for that? That's freaking nice.
So let me find. I got the box right here. The wings.
That more than Spike.
The wings come up and fold.
If it's not Bandai, I'll eat a Dorito sandwich.
It's Bandai. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
So
That looks nice, man. And it's you have put together. It was already together.
Are you
It's
telling
hard.
me that you're not going to eat a Dorito sandwich?
I will eat one. I like Doritos. I like sandwiches. I'll put them
It is.
together.
It is.
I
put
like
together.
Doritos and sandwiches too.
I don't
Don't you,
want
Brooks?
gelatinous anything.
A good chips
I
and
want
sandwich is
gelatinous.
fantastic, man.
Gelatinous. What about gelatinous?
Yeah.
I don't want
Hey.
gelatin on my sandwich either.
Hey, let's have some orange gelatinis sometime soon.
Yeah, we should make some. I'll make them.
Mike, you
And
got
then-
anything else?
Yeah, I got my
Ooh, is that Heavy Arms?
heavy arms.
Yes, heavy
Heavy
arms.
Arms. He's the best
Oh,
Gundam. from
I
the
love
movie.
heavy arms.
Yeah,
This
I
is
like
probably
the
one of
custom.
the.
He's got all the guns.
This one still does. See, he's
I
got
like
the
it
big.
too.
You got the chest that opens, and then
Yeah.
so this is just one of those little.
Why are the referees against the Nuggets tonight, man?
I don't know, man. I hate the Nuggets.
So, yeah, I'm looking at it's like 100 to 85 right now. Go Phoenix. So, but yeah. So I haven't done a lot of the Gundam models. This is probably my second one. So
So much fun, man. I love Gundam.
I just the size and everything is what threw me off because I was like, how big's this thing going to be? I don't know. And then I built it, and it was essentially like a little bit like 3 3/4. So I'm like, that's cool. So I haven't made the deep dive into going bigger.
Yeah, I just moved from the HG to the MG, so that's a noticeable jump.
Yeah.
Speaking of MG, the OG of PCP is here, and it's Hammertime Holshoe. Show and tell. Show us what you got, motherfucker. Show us what
I
you
really
got.
haven't been buying anything because I got to do some house repairs. But I got this for my birthday. My mom actually bought it for my birthday, and she pre-ordered it in January, and I got it like a week ago. I didn't bring it in. I just brought the box. I was too lazy to bring the whole thing in. But talk about Motu.
Oh!
Station.
Oh, brother.
So
I
how
didn't
much you
get
want
it.
for that sorceress figure?
Yeah, I was gonna say the only way to get the sorcerer's figure at the moment, but I didn't drag it in because I have it set up and I had my figures on it and everything. But that's the box. It is freaking awesome. Like it's all the details that you remember. I know there's some differences, but the stuff I remember is all there. And
Great school.
freaking awesome, man. She ordered it for me in January. She bought it for my birthday in April, and she got it like a week ago. Finally showed up.
That's crazy.
Pre-ordered it through Walmart, and there was people on Facebook and Craigslist selling it for like $200, which is a ripoff.
Yeah, because
Like Walmart's are getting like 1 or 2 at
They're
a time.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She pre-ordered it and it showed up at the house finally. They delivered it there, and her dog went nuts and tried to murder the delivery guy.
the
but,
release date's like July.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude. It's huge. It's again everything I remember. I know there are some differences, but unless I go online and look at the differences, it's identical. You know what I'm saying? It's
I gotta see
perfect
it.
for me,
Oh,
and it's a big piece of nostalgia, man. That was cool
Hell
for you
yeah.
to have that for me. So I'm
great
happy to
stuff.
finally have it. And again, I got it set up in the other room, so I don't feel like dragging it in because I have the figures and stuff on it.
Share
But
some
yeah.
pictures in the PCP Army, bro.
I will do that. I will do
Hell
that.
yeah.
It's freaking awesome, man. It's for $75. It's a
Yeah, we
That's
want to
what
see your
Walmart
setup,
sells
man.
it
Show
for.
your toys. In fact, we got a new thing that I'm about to start doing. And in fact,
Show us your
I'm gonna
toys.
try to do it. Yeah, it's gonna be Sunday shelfies. Okay. And here's the thing: we know that on Sundays I do Rockin' Robbie live, right? And I'm going to do a new segment. We're going to do Sunday shelfies. So you join the PCP Army, right, on Facebook, the official PCP Facebook, and you do that, and you share a shelf, toys, movies, books, comics,
Whatever you
collectibles, statues, whatever you got. Just show us a shelf, show us a display, right? And then I will spotlight it on the live stream, and not critique it, but comment on it. Right? Does that sound like fun? That sounds like fun to me.
I like it. I like it.
I like it.
Yeah, John, show us your shit. Speaking of show us your shit, you know who always shows us their shit? It's Jelani. Show and tell. Show us your shit. Show
You
us
shit
your
your
shit.
hand?
Show us your shit.
Yeah.
You shit in your hand, bro?
All the time. And by the way, Station, I got to keep the one of the boxes. So in my Station box for today, we'll go backwards. So I'll go Baron Zemo. I got that. I'm so proud of this set.
Make
I like
him
all the
dance.
Disney Plus
Yeah, I was gonna say if he's not dancing. That's not the real man.
That's all he got. And then next we'll go with U.S. Agent. I gave him a
dude,
gun.
it looks just like.
Yeah, his face
Yeah.
is a little off.
Yeah, it looks like Wyatt Russell. They nailed the face.
Yeah, he's great. He's got that punchable face. He didn't come with a shield though, and it's inaccurate because he's U.S. Agent here, and he has the star on his head. He doesn't have the star before, or the star on the side. But he's black, and that's cool. And he does.
No, he looks like a white dude to me, man.
Come on, the black costume. You know.
Oh, I get it. My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course. Then I'll go next to your boy.
Awesome.
I had to give him a gun because apparently they don't want to have guns anymore. I have no clue why, but that arm is clean.
Not on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it's terrible.
He definitely uses a gun in
Give
it.
them all guns.
Let him use a yo-yo. That'll work.
And,
Give him He-Man sword.
It's a walkie-talkie.
Do you remember, John, when
I'm gonna
Michelangelo used a yo-yo and shit like that in Ninja Turtles? You remember that? You remember that shit, Brooks?
Mm-hmm. I remember when the grappling hook became his new weapon.
Yeah,
Everyone
man.
hated that.
yeah.
Because remember, kiddies, nunchucks were outlawed in the UK for years.
Nice.
Because they saw what Bruce Lee could do with them.
Yeah, we discovered that on Brooks's pick, Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, that's true.
They saw what you could do with a pair of nunchucks. Like, fuck that.
Now, that was the black U.S. agent, but I see a white Vision right there.
He's pretty not bad. He's got a better face than the first.
He's got a weird codpiece area going on right there.
But
Look at that.
it's not
What's
bad.
going on there?
I put him on the stand so he flies. But then in front of him is the Wanda. And I got her with the Necronomicon, but
It's a dope figure.
I love this figure.
Don't let Robbie see her in her old costume.
Yeah.
Halloween costume.
I'm getting that one set up.
He's
But
like, give me
I
an
got all those.
figure.
Of course, is now my new favorite show. I got
Nice.
the Loki. So the Loki.
I'm
And-
sorry, that's a super boring figure, man.
It is a super boring figure.
He looks like a
It is
janitor.
it's
Why is
so,
his
like-
hair blowing in the wind like that for such a boring figure?
I don't know. It's like he's excited. But of course it makes that Build-A-Figure, but it's not even really a Build-A-Figure. It's the Build-A-Wing for Captain America. And I love it. It comes with Red Wing. His wings come out. I do like them.
That's dope.
It is a nice figure.
It
And
sucks
it's
that you
such-
have to buy all of them to get the complete.
You gotta
Captain
buy
America
all
figure.
of them. Yeah, it's kind of lame that this is the Build-A-Figure, but it's okay.
They did that shit with Spider-Man. Remember with Vulture?
Yeah, but Vulture, they both are the same. I think it's just a Build-A-Wing. It's a little more substantial on Vulture, but I mean, it fits Vulture just like this fits him perfectly.
I was going to do that for Vulture because of
great.
my love for Keaton. And then once I figured out that was how you had to do it, I'm like, nope.
Yep, a lot
Nope.
of work. But okay, and then I'll do one more. I'll leave the other ones alone because Mike showed off his. This is my favorite Samuel L. Jackson figure. This is the bit I was gonna do last week, but I couldn't find the arm.
Nice.
Yeah. This is my favorite Samuel L. Jackson.
I ruined his love life.
Plus it's a Michael Crichton tie-in with Jurassic
Yeah.
Park. So yeah, I really.
I was
like
going to
it.
do this whole weird stretch where I change all these VHSs to Michael Crichton novels, but then I just didn't.
Yeah.
But y'all see
That's
that
it.
they're doing the Jurassic Park vintage line, like Wave 1
Yeah.
vintage park, like Jurassic Park. Holy shit, man! Right?
Yeah. They're doing all those again.
Are you anybody going to get those?
I'm probably gonna get those.
I wonder if they're going to get if they do the Command Center. I might be down.
But
I'm not
I wanna see
I
it.
was never a big fan of their figures.
Those dude, the dinosaurs were dope.
No, they're really nice. If we're, you know what? I'm not going to buy any dinosaur figures, but I will buy Dino Riders if they bring that back.
No, I
Dino
will.
Riders are awesome.
I will fucking, dude. If they brought like the vintage Dino Riders back, like
That'd be nice.
perfect, like bruh.
Yeah, I'll buy those. Otherwise,
Is that
I'm not
it?
buying any
Is
dinosaurs.
that it, Jelani?
One more, and then I got this Dinobot. The War for Cybertron Dinobot. I turned him into a raptor.
Nice.
I mean, he's okay. He's not as good as this one, but I have raptors now. That's
Yeah,
it.
Jelani likes the dinosaur. Yeah, bruh. The cool thing about Dino Riders was that they were cool with their accessories, but outside of that, they were just badass dinosaurs.
Dinosaur.
In fact, those were the same dinosaurs I think they used for the Smithsonian dinosaur figure line or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
The Jurassic Park ones though had that battle damage.
Yeah.
And they would just repaint the T-Rex over and over, like year by year. It's like a Wolverine or a Batman figure. You just fucking put a new coat of paint. Yeah, pink and purple camouflage. Who cares?
Aquatic Mission T-Rex.
Yes, no shit. Aquatic Mission
T-Rex.
Oh, I love it. All right. Next up for show and tell. And by the way, that's me. Rockin' Robbie. Show us what you got. First of all, I'll show you my excitement for the upcoming Super 7 Silverhawks line.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know
Silverhawks line, Super 7.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's a thing, guys.
There you go.
It's
They're
a
going to be,
thing.
some of them are going to be rather expensive. All right. I got a Ninjor. Speaking of Motu figures from Origins that are going to be good.
Unpunched.
Yeah. And well, I'm going to open it because this is a placeholder for a Ninjor because it's kind of hard to find a Ninjor with all of his pieces, right?
Yeah.
Let's go Transformers. One of the only current lines I will follow is Transformers. And it's because I get to pick and choose. I don't feel like I have to get every single one, right? But I got an Optimus Primal, which is the Beast Wars Optimus Prime, right? So I'm excited about that. We love these ones. I got the Jazz.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to open that up and check it out. Y'all, till all are one. Check this out.
All are one.
You
like
got
that
the touch. You got Hot Rod. Speaking of that movie, thanks to Mike, I finally got a Cyclonus.
Oh, that's
actually thanks to Mike, I've got all these figures.
And that was actually the Cyclonus that I was going to get for myself. But I ordered more. So I'll
thank
get mine
you so
later.
much. And the big daddy of tonight's show and tell for me is the Battlefield Spawn action figure.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a Big Daddy Adam Sandler figure.
Look at that clip-on
all the
features.
Armor. Yeah.
You put on the armor and he looks like that.
Holy shit.
Oh, that is kind of cool.
It really transforms. That's a lot of fucking pieces.
Yeah, how cool is that, bruh? I'm so pumped. I may be opening this on a live stream at some point, maybe this weekend. But aside from that, I just once again want to show you my excitement for the Super 7 Silverhawks line.
Oh.
Dude, I didn't know that. I'm fucking sold.
Oh, it's such a thing, man.
They're going to be like $55 each, except for Monstar is going to be like $80.
95.
Yeah. But if you find them, not only are they expensive, they're missing accessories. They're mostly all the metallic is flaked off. I mean,
yeah, because we were kids and we did this shit.
Yeah, mine is missing on his butt and his crotch area for some reason.
All right, y'all. This is the last PCP movie night for the next 2 weeks. We're not coming back till July 2nd. But when we come back, y'all, it is Action Fest. And Action Fest goes week to week, and it's Cobra, Die Hard, Fifth Element, John Wick Trilogy, the Keanu Reeves poll winner. That poll will come up soon in the PCP Army, Face Off, and the Fast and Furious franchise. We still have Blood Skulls and Chrome #1 PCP exclusive variant sets for pre-sale right now because the pre-sale is pretty much almost over. So email us at popculturephilosophers@gmail.com if you're interested in one of those. Check out Dylan's Horror Show tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Central Time. Head of the Family, Creepazoids. You can watch them both on Tubi. It's a great full moon double feature, and it won't take up any more than like 3 hours of your time. But since this is the last show and tell for the next few weeks, we got to end it on Bodacious Brooks. Brooks, show us what you've got.
Well, I did find a rather interesting something. Like, who is the most powerful video game character, do you think, of all time?
Mario.
Link, when he's got the master sword.
Green Toad. Green Toad is the true one. See, he even comes with a Starman.
Ah,
You're right.
I'm a motherfucking Starman.
I'm a motherfucking star, man. I'm a star.
Look what
I'm
you
a
did.
star green toad.
I also found this guy, the Knuckles
hey,
from
it's gonna be in the new
Yeah,
film.
Echidna.
He comes with a Master Emerald too, which is
Bruh,
pretty
I
cool.
heard if you put that
Nice.
thing in between 2 slices of white bread with some Miracle Whip and some Cool Ranch Doritos, you got a knuckle sandwich.
God damn it! That was a long setup.
Yeah.
That was nice, though, wasn't it? Though that was nice.
Dude, it was a good payoff. It was a payoff.
That was nice. I'm very proud of that. What do you think, Jelani?
He's gonna be in this.
Except for the Miracle Whip.
Mike's
you know.
not impressed. Mike's not impressed. But I connected it to the Justin bit. That's good. Go ahead.
God.
Go ahead. Show and tell.
Anyway, I picked this up Wednesday. It's the
Nice.
first Transmetropolitan trade. It's like I like this. I like this book a lot so far because there's one like story about a dog who's also a cop.
Yep.
And he has this grudge against the main character, and so like he's hunting him down, and like he just keeps getting fucked up like the whole time. Like he gets hit by a car, and then like he runs into an alley where a bunch of cats like scratch the shit out of him. It's just a funny book. I'm gonna start picking it up. I think picking up all the trades. There's 4 of them right now, right?
Yeah, and the 5th one's on its way, and I think the 5th one will be the last one. And do you like how the main character, Spider Jerusalem, is basically turning from Alan Moore to Grant Morrison?
Yeah.
Like it's just this like crazy fucking like hairy fucker in the beginning.
Bruh, they wanted to
All of a
do...
sudden, like goes into a shower and he's like completely bald.
Yeah, no
He
shit,
like, doesn't
right?
even give a shit.
Well, it's that whole metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis.
Yeah, metamorphosis. And he does that same thing in Planetary with the John Constantine bit, and when John Constantine becomes Spider Jerusalem. But I want to highlight there is that I love the character Spider Jerusalem. They wanted to make a movie in the 90s, and Patrick Stewart wanted to play the character so bad, and they never got it off the ground. How much we missed out, bruh. Patrick Stewart as
cool.
Oh man,
That'd been great.
They'd have probably toned it down a lot though.
Yeah. He'd have let him.
well nowadays
like
maybe they could do it.
The first story arc of it is like a bunch of cops like just go into this fucking place and start beating the shit out of these like people who have a community who are transitioning from like human to alien, and like these cops basically find an excuse just to go in there and start like beating the crap out of them. So I don't know if that would be the kind of movie that they'd want to make these days.
Well, it's kind of timely though.
Yeah.
What else you got?
And for the last thing I saved, because robots in Westworld, this is Robbie the robot.
What?
He's a robot change bank, and like I don't have a battery in him right now, but what you do is you put a coin on his little hand here. Let's see where it says has the $sign. You press it, and he'll like lift his little arm up and open his mouth, and it goes into the bank. Like his eyes open. Look how creepy that fucker is.
Yeah.
This fucker like stares at me.
Waters. Yeah, he's changed. Gorgeous.
He'd never turn on me like Yul Brynner did, though.
Hold
Oh, you say that, but he'll bite your little dick off.
He wouldn't do that.
I'm glad you took the batteries out, bro, because after watching this movie tonight, you never know what's going to happen. All right, that's been PCP Movie Night. That's been Show and Tell. That's been PCP Back Chat. We've lost like 90% of the audience already. So we're dipping out. We love y'all. We love you. Thank you so much. We're join us for Action Fest and all that jazz. And one more thing. What